Oh, I got crazy things in the camera. You can't have all of that. What are you trying to advertise it? At least get a sponsorship. Red Bull's not paying you. At least need a sponsorship. We got 2 minutes late. Okay, I see chat now. I see Roseanne and Pam. I see Derek. I see King in the North. Freddie. Spaz tackle. Spats? Forget it. Hey, Chad. MD, good evening. Pammy, what's up? Tendy, Hammer. I know, the C's, huh? What? On the road? Brian, Roseanne, Annie, Thomas, AMC Airman. How is everybody doing tonight? California Dream Homes, Nate, Chris, Savvy, TTD, Pip, Doobie Wall 420, Richard, Cat Scat 5, Robert, Hut Do. Good? All right, now I'm bringing Tony on.
What's up? How you doing, Mass?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. How is everybody doing Monday? Gosh, I still almost think it's Sunday night.
I know. It's weird. This holiday weekend just flew by. For me, it flew by. Did it fly by for you?
Yeah, Scarlett had to work. She was on call this weekend, and I was doing a shit ton of due diligence work. So I feel like I was working all weekend. We didn't really do much fun. I was able to crank out a couple videos today. A couple more will be dropping later this week. We might talk about one of the topics tonight. So yeah, nothing too exciting though, as far as like pool or lake or barbecue. And
yeah, nothing like that, huh? Me neither. Unfortunately, it was the wrong weekend for barbecues, get-togethers, leaving your computer desk for more than a half an hour.
It was like 100 degrees weekend here anyway, so.
It was that hot? Yeah. Wow. 100? Yeah. It was pretty warm here, but 100. Oof. Let's see. We got a lot of people from Tony's channel. All right, let me get some Tony people in here tonight on the chat. We got Turtle. Tony, you want to call out some people? I'll throw them up on the screen. Javi, good evening, brother.
We got Anthony, Chad, AMC Airman, Fartalist. What?
I tried that when he first came on. Forget it. That's what I just.
Mario, Javi, Midnight Gamer, Jeff, Amas, Richard, Rishi, Sudi, B Booth, Cassius. Wow, lots of folks. Arthur, Manuel, what's up? PDX Dave, Danny, Together Strong, Doc Zeno in the house. Alana, what's going on?
We got a packed house right now.
I am ready for tomorrow.
Me too.
Ready for this week.
Are you guys ready for tomorrow? Tell Dog I see is in the chat. David, Mark, good evening. Diaz, Alana, Ryan, Tony Thunder. Together Strong, what's going on? Thomas B. Man, we got a full house. Shannon, good evening. Ron and Cassius. All right, let's talk. Okay, so you dropped 2 videos today. Why don't you tell everyone what they're about? What did you do your videos on? If you want to just
before I talk about those, were you able to get a hold of Pantheon?
I was, but I haven't heard back yet.
Okay, and I did touch base with AMC Biggums. He might join us tonight, so be on the lookout in your little side window there if you get anybody popping in.
And chat too. If you guys see anyone and I miss them, I'll miss them in the chat. If you could give me a heads up, that would be great.
I forwarded your invite to him on a DM. So
got it.
My 2 videos today, I did one. Some people might call it a hype video. I'm excited about this week. I don't know what's going to happen, right? The economy and earnings from other companies, there's always things that can rug pull the entire market. But as far as catalysts lining up for this week, and especially in light of how Top Gun performed and this whole entire year with all the movies we have, AMC moving further and further towards profitability. Adam Aaron sending out that tweet about Top Gun being, this is the #1 ever Memorial Day weekend box office for any movie. Is that right, Massalorian?
Yes, that is correct. As from what I
That
read
is
in
incredible.
every article.
Grandpa Barney, thank you. What's up, brother? I was just excited. So forgive my exuberance. I can't promise anything, but I wanted just to chronicle where we're at today. So I updated some, to a soundtrack, some of the latest news going on, and all of the faces that you guys, my viewers and Massalorian's viewers, know and love, and some that you hate. Even Massalorian, you were telling me you saw some people that have been bearish on AMC making bullish predictions this weekend. Is that true?
It's a possibility, yes. So we saw. Well, are you talking about the gentleman that was in your video and mine as well, randomly?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's wait to get to that. Let's wait to get to that. Okay. I want to dive into that, but
I just saw a lot of things that said, this is the moment we need to capture what's going on this weekend. And so that was one of my videos. So go check that one out if you haven't. It's kind of uplifting, only 4 minutes long. The second video I just published not 15 minutes ago because of the misinformation that's going around about JP Morgan, JPM coin, central bank digital currency, USDC. They take these headlines, these clickbait FUD masters, I call them. They just read a headline and they mash it all together into their head to make 5 videos that they think someone's going to click on and never double check them. And that I just don't like clickbait and misinformation. So I had already been working on that since last week, since the 26th. And I just went ahead and got that one out today also, so that you guys have the real information. It's not at all what it's been said for the last 5 days. So go watch that after tonight's live stream.
It was an awesome. Definitely check it out, guys, if you haven't seen it. It was really, really well done. Tony did awesome. It's if you're feeling down at all on AMC, if you lost any conviction, I don't know, that it just it got me pumped. It definitely did. I was glad that you did that. So the second video, and this is news to me. I didn't know about this. The JP Morgan. We had talked about it a little bit in the last live stream, but what is the short and easiest way to break it down? Go ahead.
One of the main reasons in beginning of last year, that I decided to make crypto a much larger percentage of my portfolio, and I upped it another 10% in 2022, is the fact that big institutions for years and big names in the finance industry have been putting billions of dollars into developing their own private blockchains and investing in companies like Circle. So even though crypto is in a slump right now, these guys have been putting money into it for many, many years. JP Morgan has been investing in blockchain since 2019. And if you were just to watch a video that you saw in the last 5 days, you'd think this is something that, just sprung out of nowhere. That they've been working on it for a long time. Right now, it's still in testing phases with other governments and institutional clients. It's never was planned at this stage to have anything to do with retail. You can't trade JPM coin on a crypto exchange, which is another reason why this is just ridiculous news. If they were to pay you with JPM coin, you can't trade it. I mean, it only takes 1 second of checking more than a headline to understand stuff like this. But this is unfortunately what we're dealing with in this community right now, is people who rush out to make a video without bothering to understand what they're talking about. It's going to facilitate faster trading for these big institutions and eliminate risk, counterparty risk. But they're still in very, very early stages. Could down the road, years from now, we be talking about getting DeFi with these institutions, getting loans or or getting paid in a crypto, yeah, maybe so, but not tomorrow, not next week, not even this year.
Why do you think that was mentioned? Why do you think that got thrown into this mix again? Just because of that one small thing we had.
Well, you know, there's a lot of people in this community that just read a headline and rush a video out. They don't care if they understand it or not. They just want the views because that's how they earn their money. And the second thing is certain people are desperate to try and redeem themselves from dates or things that they've talked about that never panned out, and they're just like, it's like that dying gasp, you know. Let me reach for anything that tries to redeem the shit that I said months ago.
Right. They're also, a lot of people are also kicking the can on their predictions, and so they're kind of having a filibuster to make the narrative continue to go, when we're just saying, just be patient, relax. When it happens, it happens. But when you keep throwing dates and everything, and, you know, we've probably been guilty of that in the past. Not, I know we haven't said specific dates ever, but we might have hinted toward things, or maybe said something that's swayed one way or the other. But I think overall, I think we've tried to keep it as real as possible.
And we don't put out fear stuff like, you know, I just read this headline and you better sell your shit quick because they're going to pay you with the digital coin if you don't move your money out of there. You know, that's just fear mongering. It's totally unnecessary.
Yep.
But it does get a lot of clicks. So you gotta recognize for what it is.
Yep. Just so when I did that video earlier today, going back and looking into, you know, what Norland had been doing in the past with AMC, you know, for someone to come out like that and give their opinion, it's fine, right? I'm gonna go short on AMC. I understand if you're trying to make a living doing day trading, that's fine. But to come at it with the way that he does it, with the clickbait and the prices, when he's not even excited about the stock, he's clearly not long on it. And there's a lot of feedback. Are you talking about
Chris?
Yes. I think there's feedback in the mic, T, a little bit from your volume.
Let me turn it down. All right.
Yep. Yeah. Talking about Chris. Yeah. What are your, so the fact that he's day trading, I mean, don't you think it's a little misleading for him to come out and not say, hey, just so you know, or, you know, I can't prove that he is right now still, but why shit all over the stock? I mean, especially when you're standing in the theater raving about the movies. It just, I don't understand. It doesn't add anything to it doesn't add to it doesn't help our cause at all. If he had any
this guy's made video after video talking about how AMC is not a good play, and then all of a sudden on the week that it's starting to look like it's about to go up, he jumps on board. And we've seen that from other people too over the past year, right? They flip-flop. And I'm not going to hate on anybody for day trading. I day trade a lot of other stocks, but I don't think he's going to win over a lot of apes that have been in this play for the last year by putting out video after video talking about how it's a horrible play and then try and jump on the bandwagon at the last minute.
Yes. It's it sounds like Biggums might be in the chat right now.
He said he's going to join. He said he's going to join in a few minutes.
Okay. I revolt. I just see the comment up on the screen right now saying, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Chris Nolan is a simp, in my opinion. Yeah, so I thought it was interesting. We didn't discuss anything until when was the first time we talked today? About 6 o'clock. And we hadn't talked about anything about what our videos were today, and we both had him in our videos. That was so random when he popped up there. You got to be kidding me. I just did a video on this guy. I didn't even know you knew about him.
Yeah, funny. I've been watching a couple of his videos for the past couple of weeks. I mostly only watch what my folks in my Discord or my chat are asking me about, and people were asking me, "Hey, have you watched his videos?" So I just don't have time to watch everybody's videos or anyone's videos really. But if people are asking me about it, again, that's why I got on the JP Morgan thing, because people are asking me about it. When I get an overwhelming amount of people asking me, I'll take the time to go watch something. So I have been keeping an eye on him for the past couple of weeks, but it was funny. You and I have not talked about it, and then we both featured him today.
Yeah, that was crazy. Crazy. Ben D says Lou uploading 30 videos of people in AMC with every single vid monetized with ads is sus. I just don't understand the reason for pushing the extra excess. You know, there's a lot. He has so much available to him for material living in the place where he does. I mean, there's so much to do in Manhattan. You know, his channel could. He doesn't need to do what he's doing. That's what I'm trying to say. Did you said you sent Biggums the link, right? You did?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just making sure.
Did you? I saw someone ask the question earlier, and this is a good bridge topic. While we're waiting on Biggums, did you see the news? And this is true, that Biden has his first official meeting with Jerome Powell tomorrow.
Just saw that. Yeah.
So that is a fact. And we know that the Fed has some upcoming changes next week. That's what I spent a good portion of my last 5 days getting. I've got another video I've been working on for you guys to talk about quantitative tightening and the interest rate hikes and how that's going to play out over the rest of this year and even into the next 2 or 3 years. I'll give you the short version right now. I'm not expecting any major changes due to that next week or even in the next several weeks. Not expecting it. But it is kind of interesting now that all of a sudden Biden decides he needs to go have a one-on-one meeting with Jerry P.
Face to face with the head of the Federal Reserve this week of all weeks. I want to touch on this comment up on the screen real quick before I lose it, because I want to get to other people's comments. Michelle Loves Freedom says, "Do you two swing trade AMC? Be honest."
I published a record of my trades a few weeks ago. If you go in and read the titles, I made enough money selling options back in June and a couple of other times over the last 12 months that I showed my position in AMC. I was down on the date of that video $23,000. So I wouldn't be red if I was swing trading. But I've been buying the dips. I've been buying it from $8 in May of last year up to $40 over the last year. But it's okay because I'm overall green on my play from the options back in June. I did not diamond hand my options. No way.
Yeah.
How about you?
I wish I could predict this market based off technical analysis and fundamentals and be able to do things like that or work off catalysts and try to swing. But in this market, I don't feel comfortable doing that, especially with AMC. I have no interest in it.
As many times as we've seen AMC go up 20% in a day, I'm just not good enough to figure out the day to get out of the play and rebuy on the dip a few days later. And I do not want to be out of this play on the day it takes off. So
fuck no, not after
me,
all that. Sorry.
For me, it's a no-go on swing trading.
No, there's just no way I would want to jeopardize anything like that. Michelle's like, I don't know. I don't know why it's so hard to believe, but Thomas B said, I don't know. No one knows what AMC will do, not even JP Morgan nor hedge funds. The algorithm has never experienced this. People holding and buying when the computer thinks retail should be selling. FOMO coming. Yeah, Thomas B, right? So I was thinking about this earlier, T. I was thinking, and I'll try to get better at the chat right now. I know a bunch of people asking questions and saying hey to each other, so I'm trying to get everything up. Just about the FOMO this week itself, knowing the potential of where this stock has hit before certain technical levels, if we see it hit certain things, I mean, it's almost like you kind of know what the next step is, right? We've kind of tested around here. We had that 34 bounce that we got back at the end of March, and then we did that again in the middle of December. Now we're going to come up to test it again. Do you think there's a possibility that we'll see something like last March, this March just went by, the shenanigans with the halt on the way down?
Well, I'm not worried about halts on the way down. I'm worried about halts on the way up. Halts are going to happen. It's a fact in any fast-moving stock. We see it on my channel when we're watching the daily stocks that are moving. Many of them halt. That's not, there's rules in the market. If a stock moves 10% in 5 minutes, it's going to halt. That's not anybody targeting our stock.
Right.
So it's in a squeeze. It's going to halt multiple times.
Right. Volatility halts, we're
Just
talking, right?
mentally prepare for that.
We're talking volatility halts, right?
The volatility halt, you said? Yeah, the percentage move halts. Yep. Those are just exchange rules. That's unavoidable.
Yeah, I'm talking. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was looking at the chart for the past couple of weeks, going back to looking at it at the end of May, though, that we got that W forming, which makes an increasing volume for the last few trading days. It's not quite to the level of volume that we had in late May, but got a fly in here. But it is looking eerily similar. I want to see one more good day. 1 or 2 more good days, and then I think we could get a little bit of lift off. Maybe it'll be tomorrow. I don't know, but I think we got a couple of days of. We need to have a couple more days of good green on this stock to really get the next phase up.
Agreed.
Did you have a question, or did I make you forget it?
Oh yeah, that's long gone. No idea. Long gone. Well, I was going to say the setup, just going back when I was doing the research for the short video for Norland there, and just looking back at those couple of days, because I was trying to find him talking about that run up and that halt. Because do you remember the halt I'm talking about? We ramped to 34 at like 9:30 in the morning, right when the bell opened, and then we dropped 27. He said he had gotten in right at. He almost got it at 34. He came in right under, and then he got out 27 miraculously, and made a ton. And I'm like, that's amazing to be able to predict the market like that, to be able to call a play at 9:30, see it rip like that. No, it's coming right back down. When that hasn't happened, I mean, when was the last time that ever happened with AMC? When was the last time we saw any type of halt? Last time we had a halt was like a volatility halt back last June, right?
I don't know. I'd be inclined not to believe that unless he was live streaming it or he showed trading confirmations. I didn't watch the video that you're talking about. So did he show any proof, or he just said he did?
No,
he timed everything perfect.
He said he timed everything perfect. Yeah, and he said it, not me. It was his own words. He said,
I mean,
I shorted.
Us that are following it every day didn't see that coming.
I know. Oh, he's not even following every day. He's got pound tips and, is Tom Nash a fraud, and meet Kevin a fraud. He's got all kinds of things going on. Michelle says, is June 3rd another buy the rumor, sell the news? I haven't heard anyone ask that yet. I don't think so. No, I don't know. What do you think, Tony? I don't believe that.
I don't have any date of June 3rd. I'm looking at the overall catalyst being very positive in the coming week or a couple weeks. I don't have any dates. There's nothing magic for me about June 3rd.
I did see that. I think Andrew Momani put a video out saying something like he has to reassess. Maybe it's not going to be in June 2022. I'm like, okay. I don't know why you would ever said that in the first place, but okay. Let's see. Jody Yurte says down 30K on AMC as of now. I will diamond hand until I get paid. Amen.
Can you put up Johnny's 5 comment? He wrote a long comment, which is going to be what we're going to be talking about here shortly. But I just want to give people a little teaser.
Johnny's 5. Yep. It's a long one.
Yeah. I'll let you read it.
Johnny 5. Man, this thing is. Oh my god. Okay,
The
I
one
see
that
it.
starts with
I see it. I
"Hey
see it. Yep.
Mass" or
Hey,
something.
Mass. Yep. Sorry. There's a million chats right now. I apologize, guys. Hey, Mass or Tony, can either of you guys explain if at some point will we ever know the true number of synthetics before they cover, or will that be something we just find out about at the end? I don't think we're ever going to truly know that number. 25. What do you think, T?
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna know the number, but tonight I think what we wanted to talk about, and I'd like to wait for Biggums to get in here to talk about it, is this whole issue of rehypothecation, which is the reloaning of shares, and then the reloaning, and then the reloaning and reloaning. If you're wondering how, I've seen people, I think CSI put out a video, where are they getting all these shares? People were asking him in his comments. We're not seeing the short interest go up. Where are all these shares coming from? And I think that the answer, this, for those of you that have been in this play for a long time, might not be a surprise if you understand how rehypothecation works. And I did a video on this a year ago before anybody really knew who I was, and it's probably horrible. I haven't even rewatched it, but I
I
gave
don't
a
watch any of my old
pictorial
videos.
I gave a pictorial example of how rehypothecation works. And rehypothecation is legal. It happens in the crypto world. It's kind of like the way that our fractional reserve system works on the dollar. $1, once it's in the system, gets loaned out and then deposited and loaned out and deposited. And all of a sudden, $1 turns into 10, or one crypto turns into 100, or one share turns into 5, or a million shares turn into 5 million. If you're wondering where are they getting all these shares, how do we own all these synthetics? Rehypothecation is something that you need to understand. I hear people talking about they're just creating shares out of thin air. They're selling it to you and not logging it anywhere, and they hope to buy it back later.
Not registered with the
That's not really
DTCC.
that's not really how it works. I mean, all of this stuff is logged at the DTC, and I guarantee you they know the real number at the DTC. Adam Aram might not.
But the DTCC knows.
Yes, someone knows. All this shit is logged, and it's all legal. And
Yep.
it's sickening. It's sickening. We could absolutely own the float multiple times over through rehypothecation. It's 100% legal, and it could be the big house of cards that comes crashing down on them in a short squeeze.
Let me just ask: did you are you going to plan on covering anything about? Well, I guess are we going to plan on covering the West Christian video at all? About anything that he said in that video? I'm just curious.
I'm
Did you
saving
cover it?
that for my deep dive video
Okay.
later in the week. But I
You want to
can
stay away from it?
I can tell you that rewatching that, I watched it a year ago. It was a West Christian, and Susan Trimbath was who he was
Yes.
interviewing with. It's an hour and a half, and in the beginning of the video, he talks about synthetics, which just to be clear with everybody, when we're talking synthetics on Wall Street, we're not talking a fake share. In Wall Street lingo, a synthetic is a combination of a call and a put option to create a synthetic position that exactly mirrors the performance of a stock, up or down. That's a synthetic. But later in the video, Wes did talk about the problems of failures to deliver and rehypothecation, which also creates shares which are not part of the float. So if you want to call those fake or phantom or synthetic, I don't really care what you call them, but that does happen. And nobody, even the most bearish person out there, all the haters that are watching this video, you cannot deny that rehypothecation occurs.
Yeah, he was pretty clear on that, huh?
Well, I mean, there's innumerable sources of information, not just West Christian.
No, I know.
There's papers written on it. There's testimony in front of Congress. I mean, there's all sorts of evidence that this is out there.
Yep. just I think hearing him, and you talk about the Trim Bath interview, and the Super Stonk Lauer interview that I watched that we had talked about as well. When he got into that about rehypothecation and the number of titles, how many times can you sell the same title over and over and over again? But the card titles.
Yep.
And that really that at that moment back then, which was I think the middle of last May, it was just over a year ago when that video was released, kind of got me digging again even further. And that's when I started to not YOLO, but started to increase my position more based off the prior information that I had going into the play right back in February, March. So that sealed it for me. You got feedback again.
One other thing that I've been looking for, I've mentioned it from time to time about I was actually slightly mistaken when I was talking about share counts being rigged. I was mistaken. It was in that video. It was in that same video that Susan Trimbath was talking about what was rigged, but it wasn't share counts. It was proxy votes.
Right.
Proxy votes, where I found, and I'm going to do a video on this later this week too. I'm trying to find some source, and I spent all day yesterday, the full day, trying to find any source that explains how the proxy vote process works, and it doesn't exist, to my knowledge. But yeah, nowhere. Google, YouTube, news articles, but Susan talked about it, and I did find one article from another gentleman. I think he's with Better Markets. But basically, when you do your proxy vote, there are documented cases. I think he said in some of the investigations he did, 100% of the votes that they investigated had more votes come in than existed shares. How does that happen? This was fucking congressional testimony. He told the Finance Committee of the House of Representatives it happens because of rehypothecation.
And nothing's been done.
Dennis Kelleher, I think was the dude's name.
You have is this on video? You saw it? Are you watching it?
Yeah, I have the video. I'm going to be featuring it later this week.
Sweet.
So
look for that, guys. Nice.
So rehypothecation is creating too many shares out there, and it's many of these companies are getting too many votes in on their proxy votes. And what do? They kick it back to the broker and say, you submitted too many, fix it and resubmit. That is fucking rigged. So yes, it is very common that there are more shares out there in shareholders' hands for these than were issued by these companies. And you can tell it by the amount of times that they investigate proxy votes and they come in too high. And not everybody submits a proxy vote, and many people in foreign countries don't. And they're still coming back high, more than the shares that are issued.
Yeah. How? It's crazy. Yeah. Who was it? Who was I just listened to the other day that was talking about Gary Gensler not coming in to save us? Oh, I think it was in your hype video. Did you put that clip in your hype video? Is that right? I just saw it. Gasparino saying that they think Gary Gensler's coming in to save them, the apes.
I didn't have any speech in my video. It was just music.
Oh, you didn't? Okay. I just saw that in like the last 24 hours, and I was like, I remember we talked about that and said, there was people screaming, Gary Gensler, he's the new guy. He's going to come in, the new sheriff, clean this place up.
NAMAC 3 says, once we go full blockchain, the market will be different. That is one potential advantage of going blockchain, is you will not be able to rehypothecate without tracking it. I don't know that we will eliminate rehypothecation, but we'll be able to see it if we have access, right?
Yeah, we need transparency.
If it's a centralized blockchain that belongs to the DTC, we might not see it still.
Right.
But
True.
It can be tracked much easier by officials.
Yep. 100%. 100%. All right, that should be interesting. Do you remember when is that video from? Was that on C-SPAN? Is that was like a older C-SPAN video from cable TV?
It was a House Financial Services Committee hearing on GameStop, and Dennis Kelleher, I think his channel name, he's only got 1,000 subs, guys. We need to go give him some subs. He's working to improve the market for you. I think his channel name is Better Market. Somebody check that and drop it in the chat. Dennis Kelleher, Kelleher. I'm going to try and get an interview with him also this week. And I'm going to go see if I can talk with Wes Christian this week or next week. He's down in Houston, not too far from me. Either get him on video or go have a face-to-face with him.
That'll be amazing.
And many of these guys are asking questions that I see you guys asking in the chat. Why would any CEO allow this to happen? Right? Wes Christian's asking that. Dennis Kelleher, why? Why would they allow it to happen? I think it was Wes Christian that said in his interview, they don't want to bite the hand that feeds them. They rely on Wall Street for financing when they need it, so they don't want to rock the boat. But yes, I mean, it dilutes the shareholders. It dilutes the company's ability to raise money. They're walking a tightrope. But it is sickening that they don't demand something be done about all this shit.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't see that changing anytime soon. Nobody is putting pressure on anyone to do anything right now. Did you see what the EU just signed? They're dropping some of their sanctions against Russia. The ruble
No.
Yeah, they're dropping their sanctions. Germany, a couple other countries. Italy is going to start taking fuel again from Russia, and we're still sanctioned and getting killed on inflation. The EU's giving in. I know you didn't see my video from earlier, but there's big news out of Ukraine that the Ukrainian army, I think it's the first army that's in the Donbass region, is about to get surrounded. Once that happens, Russia will technically have all of their objectives pretty much for the southeastern part of the country, and they will have cut Ukraine off from the sea completely, because they'll probably ask for Odessa in a peace talk. So then Ukraine would be totally landlocked at that point, which shuts down a huge part of their shipping, international shipping in the Black Sea. And there's, the rumors on TV, on the mainstream media, are saying that the Russian Navy is blocking Ukraine's ports, but they're not. The actual issue is the Ukrainians laced the whole Azov Sea with landmines and ocean mines. And a storm came in and blew them all over the Azov Sea, and no one knows where they are, and they can't track them for some reason. That's why there's the shutdown from the Black Sea from Ukraine. It's because they can't maneuver, and Turkey doesn't want them leaving port, possibly damaging other ships, or they don't know it would be in Turkish waters. So this whole thing is turned into a mess right now. And then you add in the NATO thing with Turkey. It's like a lot of people are assuming right now, and according to the reporter who is on the ground there, that if the army surrounded in Donbass surrenders, which looks like they're going to, or at least going to pull out of that area, that they might try to get Zelensky out and ask for peace with Russia and give them the Donbass and everything they have now, make new lines, promise no more NATO, and that's it, and be done with it. And yeah, that's the word on the street, though.
Shout out to Counselor Murray. Thank you for supporting the channels. Appreciate
you. Thank you, Counselor Murray. Thank you, Counselor Murray.
I would like to see the Ukraine and Russia stuff be over with, and then I think that will be followed by a swift reduction in the price of oil and help us out with this inflation issue as well. Not to mention the human suffering.
Yeah, give us some breathing room.
But that would be a huge catalyst actually for our stock market to go back up.
Yeah.
Seeing some sort of talk about peace.
Yeah, because I mean, up to this point, Zelensky is not sitting down with Russia and being serious. I mean, he's saying that he won't eat the table until Russia completely withdraws all forces from Ukraine, including Crimea, which they've already 8 years now. You're not ever getting back. Anything that's lost right now is lost forever to Ukraine. They're never getting it back. It's just, that's it. So now is the time before anyone else dies.
Yeah,
It's sad that all other NATO caved already, and we're still taking the brunt of it.
I just saw a headline. Someone's asking, do you really think that Ukraine will give up? I have no idea if they will or not. I'm just saying, if there is peace, that will be good for the world economy, good for human suffering. I don't know whether they'll give up or not, but I did see a headline. Did you get to peek at this one? Something about Biden sending long-range missiles to Ukraine. That was in today's news.
I didn't. Long range, no.
Yeah. I didn't have time to read it because I was busy working on videos. So I'll check that out later tonight. Maybe someone can check that while we're talking.
I got it. You want to pull it up? I got it.
Yeah, put it up. And we're not trying to make this a political discussion, but the reason I want to talk about Ukraine is how it pertains to oil prices, inflation, and ultimately our stock market. And food, grain. What else they got over there? Fertilizer.
Yeah, we got a million things we got to think about with this thing. Did you just freeze up on me?
We're not frozen, but I don't see your screen share.
Okay. I don't know what the hell just happened. Hang on a second. Yeah, my screen's totally frozen. Here we go. All right. We should be good now. I think I need to close something.
Ugon Xanax says, what about AMC options? I bought some July and September $16 and $20 calls. That's what I did. But that was back when AMC was under $12. So the time to buy is when it feels like it's at its most dire.
All right. So for some reason, it's not allowing me to. It says view tab my post. Not let me. I'm just going to read it real quick to you. It says at the New York Post, Biden rejects Ukraine's long-range rocket request as Russia advances. This must be what you're talking about. United States.
He rejected it.
Yeah, United States will not provide Ukraine with advanced missile systems that can hit targets inside Russia. President Biden revealed Monday, once again rejecting requests from the Kiev government for vital military aid. We are not going to send Ukraine rocket systems that can strike into Russia, said after arriving back at the White House from Delaware. Says reports last week said that he was going to, and now he's saying no. They must know it's over.
All right. Okay. So I feel better because when I read the headline, it looked like Biden was sending long-range missiles. I was like, wow, that's a pretty big step.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Good thing. I think this thing is over. I think the White House is delusional. There was just an article right here from that I put up in tonight's video talking about how Putin's about to that possibly there'll be a coup in Russia, but everyone else besides the propaganda says there's about to be a coup in Ukraine. So imagine, and they also said, and this is something else to think of, and it's not trying to be political. It has to do with geopolitics, has to do with everything we're talking about right now, and its effect on the next couple of weeks with this squeeze. Because if there's a coup in Ukraine, and something bad goes down there, that's going to have effect on the market. We could see a pop from peace, and then things get destabilized, and we see panic. So just keep that in mind.
Grandpa Barney has a question. Did Boss Blunt say if Biden extends the executive order on the 3rd, that's a green light for China to invade Taiwan? I haven't listened to everything that Boss Blunt's said, but that sounds like something he would say.
Someone has a question here. See, Nettie Asaba says, how do you do this rehypothecation? When and where will you explain? When did you say you're working on the video now, T, right?
Yeah, I'm working on a video to come out in the next couple days. There's a couple pieces of it that I think that Biggums or maybe Pantheon can help me. There's a couple sidebars of where they can borrow shares from that I know Biggums has gone deep into this that I have not. So I understand part of it, but I don't understand all of it. But I do understand how rehypothecation between brokers works. Like let's say I own 10,000 shares of, I'm going to give you a simplified example. I own 10,000 shares of AMC and I have it in a margin account, which means my broker can lend it. And Massalorian wants, he's an E-Trade and he wants to buy 10,000 shares. Well, E-Trade could borrow 10,000 shares from my broker and give them to Massalorian. And in my broker, they're going to log a loan and an obligation to be repaid in their books. So their books are even. And Massalorian's broker says, yep, we got 10,000 shares for you. They're no longer really in my account. I just got an IOU. And now Massalorian's got 10,000 shares, and I think I have 10,000 shares. That process could play out to infinity. There's no rules on it. Now Massalorian, if he had a margin account, his broker could loan them to someone else, or they could loan them to an institution who shorts them. I mean, there's different permutations of how rehypothecation works, but hypothecation is in its simplest form just a loan. Rehypothecation is reloaning something that was already loaned or borrowed. So that's in a nutshell what rehypothecation is.
I hope that explains a little better for you. Who was that asked? I don't remember now. Sorry. Natsuka says Powell is meeting Biden to tell him not to sign the executive order.
I don't think Powell doesn't care about the executive order, or maybe he does. If he's worried it's going to crash BlackRock and Citadel, maybe he is worried about it.
That seems very conspiratorial to me.
I think they're going to talk about interest rates and inflation and jobs. That's the three main things the Fed is in charge of, and quantitative tightening. Right? Biden's got midterm elections coming up. And he's worried about inflation. He's worried about quantitative tightening. He's worried about interest rates, slowing down Wall Street. And the economy sucks right now. And the Democrats are facing massive losses in the midterm elections. So Biden's going to go in there and say, hey, can we just print some more money for a few more months? Can we not do a 3/4 point interest rate hike no matter what the economic indicators say?
That cannot happen. That cannot happen. Can't let that happen.
Oh God.
I think Mike Lang is talking about the rehypothecation. That's effing crazy. I agree. I think we all agree. It is effing crazy. I'm interested to see that clip.
I'll make it my top priority to get that one out in the next couple days. I mean, people covered it ad nauseum in Reddit a year ago. So if you want to read the most tinfoily of hats, all of this stuff, I'm not covering anything that wasn't talked about a year ago, but I think there's a lot of new people in the play, or maybe people have forgot, or maybe you never cared to learn about it a year ago because you thought this was all going to be over in a couple weeks. But it is the answer to the question, where are all these shares coming from, and why is the price constantly suppressed? It's because they're literally fucking printing shares out of thin air. I mean, that's a euphemism for they're borrowing other shares and reusing them legally.
It's like the two sets of books, right?
Yeah,
they're not real sets of books. They're like Harry Potter books.
Yeah, I hate that phrase. You know why? But
yeah. I keyed. Let's see. Someone asked, hold on, where was it? About Germany. Someone said that the stock did not go up today in Germany, but Mexico closed at 1540 today. I don't know where. How would Mexico? They're not ahead of us, are they? How would
I don't
someone?
even. I don't even think Mexico. Do they trade?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I don't think. No, I definitely know. I don't have any.
Brazil and Germany are the two markets I know about.
Yeah, someone's trying to check on Germany right now in the chat.
I'm trying to check also.
Mike says, "No way in hell. You really think that Ukraine will ever give up? No way in hell, Mike. They're already giving up the 115th division that's in the Donbass right now. They were told to stay and fight, and they're putting out viral videos saying, "We have no commanders. We have no food. We have no medical supplies. We have no ammunition. We have no heavy armaments. We're getting slaughtered. We need to pull out." And they're leaving. They're leaving the front lines with disobeying orders. That's fact. You can look it up in a lot of places. I mean, I could pull up a video of them talking about it, saying, "We're going home. We're not listening to high command. We're done with this war." Go ahead, T. What? Sorry.
It's saying in the German market it was up about 3.5% for the day.
Okay.
And then I mean, I can put this screenshot up here. It says this security is suspended from trading.
AMC.
Let me put this screenshot up. I haven't. This is the first time I've looked at this today.
Okay. I was having some issues earlier getting the New York Post article up.
How are you guys doing?
Oh, we just got Biggums in the
What's
chat.
up,
Just
amigo?
How you doing, Biggums?
Trying to connect my camera. It's not pulling up for some reason.
Can you put up that screen on the big screen?
Yes, sir.
I'll need to do some more digging, but you can see this right here. I don't know what that's all about.
Can you blow that up a little bigger?
Yep. This is the Frankfurt Bourse website too. This is not like some.
The hell is that? What the hell?
I don't know. I don't check this website often, so I don't know if that's a common. Someone said, "Yeah, let's check a different stock." What else do they trade over there?
Yeah.
Bosch. Give me a German company, Porsche.
Volkswagen. Volkswagen.
They all
Natsuka.
say it.
Natsuka is saying it right
say
now. Yeah. Oh, they all say it. Never mind. Yeah, Natsuka. Looks like they're all saying it. Natsuka just said, "Did you guys cover it getting halted in Germany today?" I mean, unless they're just short in Porsche and AMC.
Let me check Volkswagen. All right. They all say it. So,
yeah, something must have happened.
I think it may be just because the market's closed. Maybe that's.
Yeah, that would make sense, right?
Yeah.
Because their market shut down. That would make sense. All right. I think we lost Biggums, but I don't know where he went. Sure, I'll be back. Brett. Adrian says, "Mass when Discord." Adrian, I'm actually waiting for. Oh shit! Hold on. Big Game said, "Can't you hear me?"
Danny says, "Tony, funny that you included Lou getting knocked out. That actually it was Wigglicious that got knocked out. If anyone hasn't seen my clip yet, that was Wigglicious.
We just lost him again. Okay,
that was from Phil For Real's channel. Go check out Phil's fight videos.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Finally?
sir.
Yep.
There we go.
Yep.
Sorry about that. How you guys doing?
Good.
Great, man.
Good.
How are you?
Good. Did you want to talk about rehypothecation or a little bit?
I wanted to talk about rehypothecation, but remind me again. I know you've talked about this other related topic, the place that these guys go to borrow shares from.
We got the stock borrow program. We got the CNS program, continuous net settlement. They got ISDA. They got all sorts of things, but ISDA is the main thing. And the stock borrow program and 1 second, I'm trying to play a game here. The stock borrow program and that CNS program is the main thing that they use. The CNS program, the DTCC is in charge of that. and they know the real count. Like a lot of people are wondering, who actually knows how many, synthetics are out there, or who, everybody. That's like the main question I get asked is who actually can tell us the exact amount, and the answer is the DTCC.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. The DTCC knows how many shares are out there. If it's at 2 billion, they fucking know.
Every share.
Yeah.
Every single share.
Every share. So like the way this CNS program works, it's like you said, 100% through hypothecation. But what they do is what they'll have is it's called netting, and they're going to have about 10 hedge funds and some banks involved and all that. And what they're going to end up doing is the banks and the hedge funds they make a giant pool, and it actually doesn't matter. They don't care. So if you're going to go into the CNS program, they don't care if you're going to take AMC shares. They don't care what kind of shares you're going to take. What it is it's a net amount. So it's going to take the total of the supply you take. And what it's going to do is give you one long and one short position. So let's say I'm a bank, okay, just to simplify this. Let's say I'll make it a hedge fund just to make it easier. So let's say I'm a hedge fund. I need some shares to show, I have the shares, or I need to fill some orders. Well, what they're going to do is go into the CNS program. The banks create these shares through ISDA contracts. And what they do is they take that from the stock borrow program. And that's a huge reason why we tell everybody, you guys, you want to turn that stock borrow program off. It limits them in a lot of ways. Your shares on loan are at 180 million. It hurts them, hurts their ability to use the CNS program as well. And a lot of people were talking about that, the 003 with the STS. And that actually is going to use the CNS program as well. So a lot of these shares mainly come from the CNS program.
When we look at Ortex, for example, and we see shares on loan and shares shorted, it's my belief, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not 100%, but it's my belief that any sort of rehypothecation or borrowing like this is not reflected on Ortex in shares on loan.
No, the CNS program, that where you're like what you're talking about, we can't ever see those totals. Literally only the DTCC will be able to count for those.
Ortex shows shares on loan from lenders to short sellers.
Yep.
And so rehypothecation is a completely separate bucket. So when people are wondering, why do we only see 170 million shares on loan? How could we own the float multiple times over? It's because rehypothecated shares and CNS are not reported anywhere to the public.
Exactly. And on top of that, yeah, so like the CNS program, none of that's reported to us. We can't see that information. And what's messed up is these shares, they're synthetic shares, but they're treated as real shares, of course. So they can sit there and just create these supplies. And the problem with the CNS program is if they run out of shares in the CNS program, what they do is they go to ISDA. And ISDA, they can literally make unlimited shares. Basically, what you do is you are a bank. You're one of the major banks. You're going to go to a market maker. Only market make major banks, like massive banks. You need to be, a multi-billion-dollar bank to even have access to this. Well, they go to these market makers, and whenever market makers need to create shares or show that they have the stuff, they can write a master agreement. Well, these master agreements, the problem with them is they don't need to deposit collateral with them, so they could sit there and just keep fucking making shares with these. Sorry, give me a second. Go ahead.
Yep. D Helms is asking on the screen, does rehypothecation count as a short, Biggums?
No, it does not.
That was the other burning question I had over this weekend, and I talked with Pantheon one night this weekend about 1:00 in the morning my time for 30 minutes about that question. That was a big one that I was trying to make all these puzzle pieces fit, and because that is a piece of what the price of AMC is going to go to in a squeeze. Does this count as a short or not? And then I eventually the next day found a video talking about rehypothecation in crypto, and the way she described it is they basically zeroed out on their books. If you're a broker and you're lending it to someone else, you create a loan and you create a liability. So you've got both pieces, and it's a net zero on your books. And then you create the asset by lending it to someone else. They get something that's completely fake. I mean, it's real in terms of DTC, but you just recreated it. Now both people have it on their books. It's not a short here and a long here. I've got it on my books, and Massalorian, you've got it on your books, and so do our brokers. We just doubled the shares.
Yes, that is exactly correct. And that's why this ISDA so scary. So like when it comes to ISDA, this is why the world is so messed up. It's worldwide. And let's say when it comes to short interest, this is one of the things that I thought they were going to try and do and get away with it. So one of the main things that, if you guys ever look up the company Iron Mountain, it's a data storage facility center. In the last 9 years, they've had 36 data fires, all with ISDA contracts, all with house loans, things of that nature, all burned to the ground magically. Well, these ISDA contracts are written on paper. They're not stored. Most of these guys, you know, they can store it, but most of them aren't gonna, because they're like, well, the problem is you got the DTCC. It's run by the banks, and it's also run by, you know, Virtue and Citadel. Well, guess who, you know, is in charge of all the ISDA? It's the same people. So the banks are writing ISDA contracts to market makers. They're taking stocks from the stock borrow program. They're creating things through, you know, securitization and all this stuff, rehypothecating shares. And in the end of the day, they're going to accept every single contract, because who makes money? The banks. So they make money on every single contract. Well, the problem is how can the banks govern those contracts and be the ones writing them? They're going to approve everything. So even when, that's why you got people like JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, they're leveraged 200 to 1. It's because of these ISDA contracts. They go in there and they'll just accept anything. Though I don't know if you guys seen about like the banking cartel and all the things with those banks, but like there's this thing called a blacklist. And what they've been doing with this blacklist, so like if you're a cartel member, you know, you're in drugs, you're in some kind of thing, mafia, anything of that, they're not going to deal with you. Well, in the end of the day, we find out that JP Morgan is working with, you know, the cartel. They're running drugs for them. They're doing all this stuff with the stock market for them. And I heard your thing going earlier, and somebody asked you, like, why aren't the politicians helping us in the feds? The feds are making all the money off it. They're fucking, you know, their job, the Fed's job right now, their only job is to make it so the economy doesn't crash while they steal from us, but at the same time cover it up. And what they're trying to do with inflation, I don't know if you guys saw my post today, but there's a new program going around with the banks, and the banks actually make billions and billions of dollars the longer inflation's higher, because they now have a new kind of bet, a new kind of swap where they can bet swaps on inflation. What the fuck is that? So it's like, so the banks are getting bailed out by the new swaps. They're getting bailed out by the reverse repos every fucking day. You know, they're getting unlimited, you know, the treasury bonds, collateral, all this stuff over and over and over, when it's like, dude, this should have been over a long time ago. And that's why I keep telling everybody, like, the feds, Powell, all of them, man, they're the worst pieces of shit. Because Ken Griffin basically comes in and he shoots somebody. He's gonna kill the person. He's gonna make the body. But Powell and them, their job is to fucking chop that body up, you know, burn it to the ground, spread the ashes all over so nobody can ever find it. And it's just bad right now in the United States, man. Like, I can't believe how powerful these banks are.
Do you have a minute to do kind of a working session to help me get to where I can do my video next week? The next piece that I haven't completely solidified is, all right, we know rehypothecation exists. We know it's bad. How is it going to play out when a catalyst happens that causes this stock to run up? How exactly does it make it collapse on them? They've got to unwind all these fake positions, right? Because at some point, if it runs up due to a catalyst and we start selling, well, only 1 out of 5 people has real shares. Like, I'm making up numbers, right? Yeah. But if Massalorian, you and me all want to sell at the same time, and only one of us really has the shares, when you rehypothecate, all right, let's say you two guys got loan shares and I have the real ones, and Massalorian wants to sell. Let's say they borrowed it from me, so I've got an IOU. Fidelity's got to go buy the shares to close me out, right? Yeah. Massalorian's got the shares. I've just got an IOU. So to close me out, Fidelity's got to go buy 1,000 shares or 10,000 or whatever number you want to use for the example.
Yeah, you're correct.
That should create buying pressure.
The way that we win this all, Tony, honestly, the way we win this all, you have $488 trillion in interest loan payments for these banks. You have a $250 billion in derivatives market, which is insane. What we got to do is if you have a ISDA bank, you need to get your loans out of there, your accounts out of there. You got to take that $488 trillion in interest payments and bring it out to the light. Because right now, everything they do is in the OTC market. We can't see any of that stuff. But if we bring those trillions and trillions to light, they got to cover that.
I get that, but the likelihood of us being able to do that, collectively with our outreach in the next year or two is not very high.
No, it's so. I mean, I can't even get people off payment for order flow platforms, dude.
I was talking with someone about ISDA banks the other day, and I said, even as credible as I am with my family, if I went and told them to move all their money out of banks and go to a credit union, half of them are going to be lazy and the other half are not going to care because they don't follow it like we do.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's like,
I agree with
that's
you.
That's why
100%.
I keep telling everyone the main thing, our biggest weapon right now is literally in educating the public. And that's why it sucks, because the one thing with this movement that I've noticed, it's like, man, I wish people, instead of looking at hopium and just searching for that hopium, they search for education more. You know what I mean? Like, I swear, man, like, you could sit there and we could show people so many things, proof in every single corner. And the second somebody, a YouTuber, Lou, Trey, they don't even need to know anything. They just go, I don't agree with that or anything. Boom. Everyone doesn't care about the information anymore. It's like, I just wish people would take a couple more seconds. I mean, man, this is your entire life, you guys. This is not just for you. This is for your kids, your retirement. This is everything. I mean, if there's something that in life to ever pay attention to or take a couple minutes to study, it's how your own government's stealing from you. How this entire United States that we learned growing up in school and middle school, do this, and great things will happen to you. The American dream, all that stuff. It turns out it's all just a fucking lie to keep us in place in the system, to keep them going. And it's like Thomas Jefferson, a long time ago, said, if we put the banks in charge and have a central bank, they're going to take out the economy and they're going to take over everything through inflation, deflation, and corporations. Well, what's going on right now? Mass inflation. Corporate empires running the world. They run politicians. They run everything. Literally what Thomas Jefferson said, if we make this centralized bank, this is what's going to happen. And it's exactly what's happening right in front of our eyes.
Well, you are the undisputed champion of knowledge in this area. So I'm going to be spending the next couple of days going back through your videos because I want to make sure I fully understand this stuff before I do my updated rehypothecation video. If anyone wants, I have one from a year ago, but I'm going to do an updated one now. I mean, we've been in this play for a year now. It's time to talk about this topic again. And yes, maybe I'll start talking about ISDA banks, but meanwhile, we need a fucking catalyst.
Yeah, I know, dude. That's the thing. I mean, that's the one problem. Like, everyone's waiting for a catalyst when it's like, you guys, we can be our own catalyst. Like I said, just get the fuck out of your payment for order flow platforms. I mean, how simple is that? Literally, how simple is that? But nobody will take the 2 seconds to do that. If you don't know options, stay away.
Don't play them.
Learn them. This is my point. Take those 5 minutes to learn options. Go watch a couple videos and then do it. Don't just watch a YouTuber and suddenly, I'm like Astro. I'm going to buy these fucking YOLO calls. And then 10 seconds later, I see 100 people buying the same YOLO calls. You do not buy something, people, because a YouTuber said it. Just like the other day when I put a tweet up. Has anybody seen Redbox? You notice that it shorted 181%? And I put that up. Really? I'm like, how is that fucking possible? But this next thing I said is, don't go buy options now, because guess who owns the vote and controls it?
All the market makers. How it's possible? According to the testimony of Dennis Kelleher to the House Finance Committee, rehypothecation.
Oh yeah, exactly. Did you guys see that one video
said it to Congress last year?
Did you guys see that one video where this guy, I can't remember what stock it was a penny stock, and he bought the entire float, and the very next day, the entire float was traded. And
twice over. They trade 60 million shares. Yes.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck? If that's not proof people don't need, then what? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's all the data is right in front of us. We just got to say, all right, Stop fucking worrying about Gary Gensler. Stop worrying about the SEC and do all these things. Guys, get the fuck out of these banks. Get out of them. Get out of this fucking platforms that don't make, like, literally, if you're on a payment for order flow platform, think about this. You're basically like playing PlayStation 5 with your controller not plugged in. You can push all the buttons you want, but nothing's going to happen. And that's exactly what
and
you're
you don't
doing.
have Neuralink in yet, so you can't do that. That way,
We
for
can
Neuralink to be able to
go
play
off
without
on
remotes.
payment for order flow in a few minutes, but Biggums, I want to hear if you can, if you're able. If you can't, that's fine too, or we can talk about it offline. But how do you see the unwinding of rehypothecated shares playing out if there were a catalyst or a combination of catalysts in the next week or two that send the price up? What is your understanding or your thoughts, because you're way more knowledgeable on this than me, of how that all gets unwound in a short squeeze? Is it going to amplify or dampen a short squeeze? Because they're not shorted shares. That's my concern.
Yeah, no, I get that. And see, I mean, it's hard to say because it all depends on, honestly, it all depends what the catalyst is. Is it like Credit Suisse going down? Is it things of that nature? What is the catalyst? Because if it's a catalyst that affects ISDA contracts, then it won't matter. Because what's going to happen if it affects ISDA contracts, and this is why I say it's such a big deal to get those. If we affect ISDA contracts, that means the banks who wrote all of them are going to go straight to the market maker. Who do we hate the most? Citadel and Virtue. How do you take them down? You fuck up the banks that are literally giving them the lifeline. So if you take those banks down and that's the catalyst, that means fucking they're going to come knocking on Citadel's door, Virtue's door, and guess what they're going to have to do? They're going to go knocking down on all those hedge funds' doors, say, hey, we all got to collect. We all got to come. Until we take down the banks, I don't see, an honest to God, I don't see a mo-ass, like everyone's thinking the 20, 30 grand, because they're going to do this bullshit. And it's like, if we can take these banks down, this, like I said, this is why I preach it so much. The first thing they're going to do, the first person they'll go after is Virtue and Citadel.
And that is a great segue into something that I've been talking to Massalorian and Pantheon over the weekend. And I try not to use the word MOAS. I think that we have a short squeeze coming up, but I don't know if it's going to be a MOAS because
I have a video out that if you guys ever, if anyone's listening, I have a video out. It's called MOAS versus short squeeze difference. And it'll tell you how to get a MOAS exactly. And it'll tell you exactly how to get a short squeeze and how they will both go. If we get a MOAS, like I said, the only way to get the MOAS, the thing everyone talks about, the 100Ks, all that, you have to take down the banks. You have to have them go to the market makers and collect. That's the only way to get that.
My concern is if we own 2 billion shares and only 180 million are shorted, or 130, whatever, and we run up from a short squeeze because they all say, well, AMC's not going bankrupt. Let's dump our 180 million shares that we borrowed by buying them back, and it starts running up, and now all of a sudden 2 billion shares worth of us are trying to sell into that. Well, that's not going to let it go to $1 million.
No, I hear you on that. That's what I'm saying. That's why, like I said, the only way to make sure that $1 million happens, or those big price happens, is you got to fuck up the banks. You have to. They're literally going to keep getting bailed out over and over. The banks will always sit there and keep giving them fucking reverse repos. They'll keep doing this shit where they're doing these default swaps, everything in the back end. They're going to re-securitize all your shit just like they did in 2008.
The only reason, the reason I want to talk about this is so that you guys that are listening have realistic price targets on your exit plan. Not no freaking, here's my PowerPoint showing a Pareto chart of $500,000 made up out of somebody's head.
Or some, what is it? What are the files there? The Microsoft files, the Excel spreadsheets with the exponential number of shares up to 2 billion. Biggums, just out of curiosity, because it sounds like I hear myself speaking when you talk sometimes. Have you seen this quote before or ever? Can you believe this is a real quote? Are you surprised?
That's a real quote?
Yeah, can you read it? Yeah. You guys can see that on the board, right? Interesting, right? That he said that?
Very.
Yeah.
I'm saying, man, the 4 or 5, that's what I'm saying. Like, this shit, like,
they knew what was up.
Yeah, everyone's acting like this shit was like out of the blue. It's like, fuck no. You got to think about it this way. So in 2008, what happened? The fucking banks, all these credit, they thought that holy shit, they thought that these, mortgage-backed securities were untouchable. No one can ever, they'll never default, blah, blah, blah. No one will lose their house. Well, it's the same thing with the stock market. Basically, what they did is go, all right, well, we control the stock price. We know it can't crash, right? They won't let it crash. So it's been, like I said, it's 2008 all over again. They just did rehypothecation through the stock market. They opened up now what are called naked credit default swaps. So they're actually betting against all this shit with these naked credit default swaps. It's basically shorting a credit default swap. How the fuck, you know what I mean? It's the same shit. You have all these treasuries, these United States treasuries, and all of them fucking. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. I got a phone call. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Go for it. Should I pop him off?
Mike says, I thought the markets worked on supply and demand, but many of us didn't realize the depravity of how they're able to just create more supply legally. Not only through short selling, but through rehypothecation.
And to think for a second that the SEC isn't aware of it, or Gary Gensler's not aware of it. I mean, we're living in La La Land if we're thinking that. We're just not using our heads.
Hey, Biggums, we got a question from Grandpa Barney. If you can talk about June 3rd executive order.
Give me like 1 second. I'm sorry, my brother, real quick. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, go ahead. The United States, elevate the frequency, says the United States was literally founded on corruption and greed. Nothing has changed. In fact, it's worse than it's ever been. I'd say that's debatable, elevate the frequency, but I think they might have had good intentions when it started. And, obviously they made a bunch of mistakes along the way. They've tried to make up for, and now it seems like it's overkill and we're going the opposite direction. We're trying to overcompensate for something that the last couple of generations has nothing to do with, honestly. Let's see. Did you want to read? You were looking for a question from Grandpa Barney, did you say?
Grandpa Barney asked Biggums if he was able to talk on June 3rd executive orders.
Yep, I see it right here. Okay. Yeah, we'll wait for him to come back on.
I'm going to try and turn off my Twitch bot that keeps on spamming your chat.
All right, I'm sorry about that. What were we talking about?
Someone was asking, Grandpa Barney was asking about June 3rd. Could you talk about June 3rd's executive order?
I mean, Boss Blunts thinks it's going to be massive. I mean, I don't know. Basically, it's going to be, they're going to take away. See, the only reason why I think this could have an effect is because you're hurting these banks, and these banks are going to have to get that money somewhere for that collateral. So they might actually, I could see them collecting on some ISDA contracts if that was the case, which would be nice. But a lot of people, I don't know. I honestly don't know what to think of the executive order. Like, I don't know. Truly, I honestly don't know if it's going to do what everybody says it's going to, and like destroy them or whatever. It's just too hard to tell, because it's like with ISDA, okay, so if they lose that Chinese collateral, they're going to end up getting it probably somewhere else, and another country, another corrupt piece of crap will give it to them right back. So it's like, I don't know. I mean,
or they could maybe Biggums, they'll find some loophole like they did with the Russian collateral that they had just a few months back when we started throwing sanctions on, and then we found out because of the Post article that they came back in, that they that they came back and they were talking in the Post article. I think it was mentioned at some point. I don't remember when. Now I can't think of one now, but sorry, Biggums, I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry, I just totally rolled over you. Go, bro. Sorry.
But I mean, so like, think about how messed up and how stupid this is. So in 2008, the banks destroyed everything, and what did we do to them? Your only punishment's going to be more money. That was their punishment. We gave them billions of dollars and trillions in bailouts. That was all that happened to them. Do you think those banks learned their lesson from getting fined or just getting free money? No, they're going to do what everyone else does. They're going to evolve, just like in 2008. 2008, what did they do when they got caught being hedge funds doing it? They ended up turning into what we call family offices. And one of the main problems with ISDA is, and like you were saying with these share counts, how hard it is to find it. Well, they can go ahead and borrow it through there too with those. And it's like, fuck, man, it's so retarded. Because like you said, I mean, the entire purpose of stock market. It's supposed to run off supply and demand. But when you can make the supply whatever you want, what's it run off? Like I said, it's just a joke. But
Someone is
those shares
asking,
aren't not, like you said, Tony, they're not going to be counted on short interest. So hard to say what's going to end up honestly happening with them.
someone's asking, why isn't Redbox squeezing like AMC and GameStop might?
Because if you guys, do you guys remember that iHor guy?
Igor?
It's like Igor or whatever. Yeah, the dude that always talks about like short interest on certain stocks and stuff. I think it's iHor or whatever. Well,
Okay.
he wrote an article a long time ago because like he deals with this shit every day, and he was hold on, I'm doing something else. Sorry, hold on. Sorry, I'm trying to do 6 things at once here. What was I just saying?
Redbox, Ivor.
Oh yeah. So it's like Ihor said. So think about it this way: a stock, a stock can have a shit ton of short interest, right? Just because it has high short interest doesn't mean everybody needs to get off the bus. You're not gonna have to cover your short interest if you're making money, if you're in the green. And the bigger the short is, think about it. Okay, let's say I short a stock at $12, okay? And all of a sudden a whole bunch of other companies come in. The short interest is going to go up. The price is going to go down. If I think it's going to continuously go down, why would I sell? That's exactly what's happening with Redbox. The bus might be packed, but there's no reason for them right this second to step off.
I'll tell you the other reason why I think it's not going to squeeze. Number one, there's not enough retail paying attention to it. Number two, they got a buyout from Chicken Soup for the Soul, valuing Redbox at 45 cents, and everybody knows that's coming. So why would they pay $8 for it when it's about to go to 45-cent valuation? Number three, if that wasn't enough, the shares on loan is only 2.5 million or 3 million. I mean, it's a flea bite for them to cover that. 3 million shares at $8, $7.
Yeah,
they will sit there. They'll sit there and let it move up and not cover because it's financially no pain to them unless you can get that thing with retail FOMO over 10 or $12. Start getting them a little bit in the red. It's not going to squeeze, my opinion.
Yeah,
but I've been day trading it on the moves, the intraday moves, but I'm not holding it overnight.
I just want to say what's up to Pantheon. Pantheon's in the chat. Pantheon, what's up, brother? In the chat tonight. Somebody said Tesla would be better. Javi G33 says it's them against us. They are the 1%. They make the rules. Yeah, man.
Exactly right, man.
Yep. And the Federal Reserve, I do find it a little interesting their meeting tomorrow. And, I try not to do conspiracy theory shit on this channel because sometimes it goes awry. But the timing is extremely interesting for a face-to-face with a man who's not even going to understand what he's saying. So then you have to ask yourself, why are they really meeting face-to-face? Because Joe's not going to be able to determine exactly what Powell is trying to get across to him. More than likely. I mean, maybe with a bunch of assistants, he'll be able to get a basic understanding. But what is the real purpose of the meeting? We know it's not a legit. I mean, this is either propaganda or something. I don't know what it is, but it's not a legit actual meeting because I don't know. Because Joe doesn't know what's going on. So I don't know what the purpose of it would be. Cino, I got that right here, Doc. Right in my hand. Sorry. Didn't mean to go off that tangent. Apologize, guys. Hold on. Nick YD says, what do you think we can expect with a squeeze instead of a MOAS if banks don't crumble? What do you think we can expect with a squeeze? You talking about prices, Nick YD? I'm assuming. We're not going to get. You're not going to get that out of any of us, probably. It's going to be extremely difficult. Like Cash says, it's all about November and December.
Yeah, I don't talk prices or dates. All I'll say is I'm going to be selling on brackets on the way up. Lock in my get my payback for what I bought in at, and then let the rest ride as long as I feel comfortable. And watching the volume, the halts. We're not going to get short interest data in a timely manner, so you're going to have to go off of how it's moving in the minute to minute and what the volume is looking like.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'll hold a little bit for crazy numbers, but I'm not holding this thing another year if we get a decent size run up.
Biggums, do you think that the GME effect? Do you think GME's stock dividend and the call this week will have any effect? I mean, like, do you feel like there are maybe a few things that are happening the next couple of days that would help our cause? Or you just completely you don't want to discuss it at all?
I mean, help our cause. There's a shit ton going on. You got CAT system updates coming fully live in July. You got Phase 6, which Phase 6 is the biggest thing. Phase 6 is what I've been waiting for since we started this thing, to be honest with you. Phase 6 affects ISDA contracts, and the main problem with ISDA contracts, the main reason why they can sit there and make unlimited shit, is they don't have to deposit anything on these ISDA contracts. They just need to show on a credit support annex that they have the collateral, but they don't need to deposit the collateral. So Phase 6 is actually going to change that. It's going to make them have to deposit collateral on each one. And on top of that, right now, like I was saying, it's by the bank. So right now, the banks write it, they approve it, they do everything, they say it's good to go, and nobody watches them. But when Phase 6 starts, it's actually going to make the SEC make sure that these deposits happen. So they'll actually watch it take place, which, like I said before, it was just, oh yeah, we did this. And
I'm glad you mentioned Phase 6, because I know over the last year, a lot of people have been anticipating the CAT system, not realizing that it's been being implemented for years already.
Yeah, it's just fully functional. But the last update is going to be the biggest one. So what that's going to do is attach your customer ID. It's going to attach the venue ID. So now what's going to happen with this CAT system, the SEC will be able to track every single share, every venue it took. And during the process, when this goes fully live, instead of right now where you just have, market makers say this, that, whatever, it's going to send during a trade, you're going to have 3 different times it hits the CAT system. The first time it's going to do it, the second you do a trade, and then in the middle of the trade, when it goes right through a venue, it'll send another signal to the system that will attach a venue ID. So anytime these guys sit there and go from like venue to venue to venue, like they're doing now to try and make it harder and harder for these regulators, they'll have it every single time. And then it'll hit it at the end ID, which will attach, let's say you're a hedge fund. It'll attach your EIN number, so they'll know exactly which hedge fund's doing it. And this was a big problem with the OAT system because, the OAT system basically 100% was like, he said, she said. There was like really no accountability. And with this new stuff, when the CAT system's fully operational, it's going to have your customer ID. It's going to have your broker ID as well. So they'll know exactly what broker you're using, your name, your address. But what that name and address is going to do is going to be stored in your broker. What they wanted to do was put that on each trade, but they didn't want to risk your information. But what they'll do is they'll have a broker ID and your customer ID to that broker, which will give them your name, address, and phone number. So they will finally, for the first time, actually know who owns what stock. I mean, think how sad that is.
Yep.
Stock market's been open how long, and they literally didn't know who owned what. So this CAT system fully going live, this last phase, Phase E is massive. But like I said, this Phase 6, when Phase 6 happens, a lot of this rehypothecation is going to go down. These ISDA contracts, like I said, they're not going to be able to just write them willy-nilly. They'll actually have to deposit it. Can't just slap on a credit support annex. I think in Phase 6, I can't see them, after Phase 6 happens, I can't see it honestly lasting much longer.
As I was looking,
they have the money.
As I was looking into rehypothecation this weekend, one of the experts that I was reading in one of these 100 tabs that I have open was mentioning the importance. Just to reiterate what you said, there was another expert that was reiterating the importance of the CAT system update to solving some of the issues with rehypothecation. So I am hopeful. Out of all the regulations and all the SEC nonsense that people have brought up over the last year, that is the one thing that I actually have a little bit of hope for making a little bit of difference, because nothing else has made a damn bit of difference.
Yeah, and well, that's because no matter what you do in the stock market, as you find out, you got the OTC market, you have the derivatives market above it. So the main problem is in the OTC markets, in the derivatives market. So you can sit there and make all these tiny little stock market adjustments all you want, but like you said, it's not going to make that impact that everybody thought it was gonna. But another thing that's coming up real soon here is they're actually going to start using a central repository system for ISDA contracts, and that's going to be massive. So like I said, right now, you don't have anybody tracking this. It's just whatever the banks say. The banks track it all. They're in charge of the DTCC. So it's going to take away, like I said, the person that can write it, and nobody should be able to write something, create something, and then govern that. You know what I mean? Obviously, especially when you're in the past have already done how much corrupt shit. Why should you be in charge of this new thing? Like I said, it's just crazy to me that people
Mexican Silverback said, Tony, aren't you amazed at how much knowledge Biggums has? I am, guys. Everybody in this play brings their own unique little nooks and crannies. Make sure I say that right tonight. That they like to dive into, and I couldn't even scratch the surface in my knowledge of the things that Biggums has dug into, and that's why I really wanted him in here tonight to share with us in a concise format some of his knowledge specific to rehypothecation. And I am going to spend the next few days going back through some of his stuff. I know he is the subject matter expert in this stuff. So thank you for coming in tonight,
Biggums. Yeah, man. Thank you very much.
Appreciate
and guys,
coming on.
Go check out his channel if you want to learn more about this. I'll do a 5 or 10 minute update on it later this week in the specific piece that I'm concerned about, how it affects our short squeeze. But if you want to learn the depravity of the system and how bad it is, he's been talking about this for a year.
Did they include Yellen in this meeting? Holly Hughes is saying that they included Yellen in this meeting with the Fed and Biden.
I am not aware of that. I thought it was just those two.
That changes the dynamics if that's correct. If the Secretary of the Treasury is involved as well, that's big news if that's correct. Chat, does anyone know if that's been verified, or is it just
if old Yeller is going to be in the meeting?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Boss's girl.
I didn't see it in the article that I read. Can we get to a sliding edge question?
What do you need, Tony?
Can we get to sliding edges question real quick? What culpability might banks have in this? And how many banking institutions might get caught up in the fallout? Banks versus hedge funds. Did both participate?
Participate in this?
Participate, yes. Have they done anything illegal? Maybe the hedge funds have. I don't know that the banks have. What do you think, Biggums? Is there illegality, or just are they leveraging legal ways to screw us?
Well, I think the illegal part was I think so. What they ended up doing was they took out too much of these as the contract. So I think they're doing some illegal stuff. Otherwise, why would they burn all these places down, these data stores down? I mean, there was a data storage fire that killed 9 people. Like, that's a big. I mean, they're literally murdering people. It's a big deal, dude.
Where did that happen?
What's that?
Where did that happen, Biggums?
Iron Mountain.
Iron Mountain.
Okay,
Are you on Google right now? Google Iron Mountain data fire kills 9 people. And then after that, do Iron Mountain data fires, and you'll find about 40 of them. And they only are involved with loan applications and loan contracts, which is just an instant contract.
Don't they also do like document disposal, like shredding and stuff? This company?
Yep.
Document
this is the same
storage,
company, right?
Document disposal. If you need fast disposal, we'll just burn the building down.
Yep. If it's going to take too much time. And what's funny is it was a month before the Doge was announced looking at all those guys. That fire took place. Kind of a coincidence. Clearly, they knew they were going to get fucking fucked. And they burned them all down, thinking that'll save them. Because, as like I said, this is the main problem. And, like, it's such a problem that the entire world, it's not like just the United States is now doing it. The entire world voted on making a centralized system. Because the entire world, every single country in the world uses ISDA, and every single country in the world's fiat currency has been destroyed through it. There's over $2 quadrillion. I mean, the entire world's supply of money isn't even that. There's $2 quadrillion in the derivatives market.
Speaking of derivatives, I was as I was digging into all this stuff this weekend, I read about Archegos again. Biggums, did you know that this guy Bill Huang that got arrested and he lost billions of dollars? Did you know that he was trading mostly in derivatives products and didn't even actually own that many equities?
Yeah, that's the problem. Like that's why. Oh, that's what I was getting into before I left. The big problem is so like these why we don't know the information or these answers is because fucking a lot of these people or a lot of this shit. God damn it! Hold on, give me a second.
Yes. Say it.
What?
Say it. Say it. Tell the audience.
Hold on, my brother needs me. Give me 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
He's leaving us hanging.
Not money advice was just asking
Hang in
about,
there. Lisa Clark. Hang in there.
just write that. Wang in there.
Yeah, this is what I think that the reason that why they're so scared is not because of the short interest that you can see on Ortex, the fucking derivatives that you can't see, that nobody can see, that they're trading in.
All right, Beck. I'm sorry. So what the problem is you have these family offices. They're unregulated hedge funds. That's exactly what they are. They're an unregulated hedge fund. So these family offices are writing these ISDA contracts through these swaps, like I was talking about. They're 100% through ISDA, and that's what I'm saying. What the problem is you have these bankers, and they're going to say yes to every single contract. Every single contract. They don't care. Even if the people can't afford it, they're like, fuck it. I have it on my books. And then when it gets too crazy, what do? They burn the building down. Like I said, it's just fucking insane. The fact that you have family offices, you have banks that can go to banks. So you have banks that can go to family offices and write it is the contract. They can go to hedge funds and write it is the contract. They can go through family offices and write it is the contract. And we never will see that information.
And if you're a bear or a fucking hater that's listening to Massalorian and Denaro and Biggums right now, and you're saying that's not true, they're not trading derivatives, go fucking read about Archegos. He was purposely trading derivatives so that he wouldn't have to report it to the banks or to the authorities exactly what he was holding. No one really knew what he had. So we're not going to find this out till this shit burns down on Wall Street because of some catalyst. That's how Bill Hwang got caught. And these guys in Wall Street that are doing this shit will have their day.
It's coming. Believe it, it's coming.
That Bill
there will be a reckoning.
Yeah, Bill's not the only one running around in these derivatives. Everybody is. Like I said, there's think about this, $1 quadrillion in the derivatives market. A quadrillion. That shouldn't even be fathomable.
No, shouldn't.
It's like I said, everybody was all excited about all these rules, but it's like I said, everything is done through these ISDA contracts. So until these central banks are, under control or kind of watched a little bit by somebody, they're going to just keep doing it.
They're scared for a reason. They're paying off the media for a reason. They're trying to make you feel shamed and guilty for not selling for a reason, because their livelihoods, their reputations, their jobs, everything, their companies are at stake.
It's the egos too, right? We're dealing with some of the biggest egos on the planet. These are people who have been used to having total control and no one telling them what to do. Basically,
because no one understands
they've been
what
running
they
the
do.
Fed. It hasn't been the other way around.
Most people don't even understand what they do.
No.
Right? Not even probably the regulators.
Nope.
That's the problem. The regulators' main job. We paid the SEC this year $863 million or 93 million or something like that, and they only collected 400 million in fines.
Sounds like an uphill battle, Biggums.
Yeah, so we're basically paying them to not collect fines, and like I said, what's the purpose of the SEC if you don't even? You're basically costing the taxpayers money to make it so they don't steal in the market, but yet they're stealing in the market more than they ever have. But yet we're paying for you. Why?
Are you asking?
No, I just like, yeah, it's rhetorical.
Okay, you were just making an open-ended statement. Got it. So Biggums, Mexican Silverback saying, what do you think about Do Kwon and his relaunching of Luna 2.0?
I don't know. I'm not gonna touch any of that stuff, man.
Okay.
I don't like any kind of crypto where they can rug pull or have and any of that stuff. Like, nah, I'm good on that.
So
got it.
Luna crashed, and so did the stable coin that was tied to it, and they renamed Luna Classic, which is basically going to the graveyard. and they airdropped. They put out Luna 2.0, which is now called Luna, and it came out at $18 and immediately dropped to $4.
Shocker.
And so right now it's trading at 976. So I think, the fact that they didn't relaunch the stable coin gives the new Luna a chance. So that's up to you guys to decide if you're going to invest in this one.
Okay.
I have no idea what it's going to do. I mean, Luna wasn't bad. It was the fact that it was tied to an algo-backed stable coin that was its undoing. So this one might be okay, but I'm not planning to buy it.
You think, are you pretty confident? So I did see someone in the comments earlier, and I forgot to keep it up for you, but someone was asking what was your buddy's opinion on crypto in the short term right now coming up, just with the things that he knows, with the way the market's headed right now. Has he have an opinion?
He hasn't stopped buying, and neither have I. I've been buying on these dips, and
Okay.
Bitcoin went to 10,000. I'd buy even more. It's a long-term bet for me. There's too much big money, institutional money, going into crypto, developing everything out. If anything, this is a head fake right now to shake out retail and let them buy more at a cheaper price. So that's how I'm viewing it. Have we seen the bottom? I don't know. But if it goes down more, I'll be buying even more. And I have been buying on the dips.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. I just don't. Maxi Paginani says these people pay money to the regulators to make their own rules. Yeah, the exchanges are making their own rules.
Down.
Huh?
He's talking to someone else.
Oh, sorry. Let's see. Carl's in the chat. Good evening, Carl. Chris Montague. Elevate the frequency says the SEC is corrupt and gets paid off. I just think that Gensler is weak and feckless, and he's too tied into Wall Street. He's not the right guy for the job. You have to put someone in there who has no ties to Wall Street. That's why Trump was so effective. He had no ties to DC.
Thank you, 27, for your comment.
Nutty says, dumb question. What would it take to get rid of PTD? Will it ever go away? Why do they have it? Because it makes no damn sense to me.
Pattern day trading. To protect retail.
Right. From ourselves. It's like the governance board of disinformation. They need to protect us. Ellie says, is there a possibility? Go ahead.
But to be fair, I mean, even among professional day traders, right? I mean, it was a big thing back around the .com bubble. There were people that were quitting their jobs and going to hang out in a stock trading room and become a day trader. The statistics tell you that, what is it, like 90% of people that get into day trading lose money. So maybe that's not a made up statistic. Maybe there is a reason why they have that rule that you got to have a certain amount of money in your account to be a experienced investor to do regular day trading. That's why that rule's there.
Yeah, stipulation. Ellie says, and T, I'll address this to you because you just talked about this in your video. Is there a possibility that the government can try and regulate or ban all other crypto that is not government issued?
Yes, that's my biggest concern. My biggest concern with holding crypto, and the reason that while my friend went 100% into crypto in 2021, the reason that I kept it only a percentage of my portfolio is my biggest concern is federal regulation in the U.S. tanking crypto if they get too heavy-handed in it. We're not there yet. We're not there yet, but I will definitely shoot the flare gun if I see it coming.
Hey, I just want to ask you guys a quick question. I just want to get your thoughts on something. What's your guys' thoughts on centralized digital banking currencies?
Bad idea. Bad idea.
I think it's the worst idea in the world. If that happens, man, we're truly fucked.
Look at what's going on right this second. Trudeau did that to was able to freeze bank accounts federally back in January. Now they're not even going to have to take the extra step to go to the banks, right? You'll have either the Treasury Department or I don't know, probably not the Fed, but it would probably have to be a government thing. But it's total control again, and it's all about being able to. What's that?
Are you talking about central bank digital currency?
Yeah, is that what was just asked?
Yeah, centralized digital bank currencies. Yeah.
So I listened the other day to 3 hours of congressional testimony with Lael Brainerd.
Yep.
And they asked her that question. And she said the Fed has no intention. In fact, they're prevented by regulation to have individual retail accounts at the Fed. And they're also going to they want to put a cap of $5,000 on any central bank digital currency that anyone might have. This is the current talk, right? Things could change, but they're trying to protect the banking system. They don't want all the money to go into a federal coin, because banks as we know it and the monetary system as we know it will stop if everything went to a central bank currency.
You can't do that. You can't just shock the system like that. You can't. You're not being realistic. That thought pattern.
So that
at all.
They don't plan on being able to control your money, because you won't have an individual account with them. I guess it'll be done through a bank. And the other thing,
why not the Treasury Department? Why would it
because
be the Department
they're prevented by regulation from doing it.
The Federal Reserve or the Treasury Department?
Both. They're like this, right? The Fed and the Treasury. And go back, you guys can listen to her testimony. They asked her that specific question. They also asked her, what about something like in Canada where you could just like cut somebody off? They asked her that question. She said, we can already cut you off by going to your bank. So that shouldn't be any more of a concern than the power we already have. If the government wants to shut down your bank account, they can. Which I thought was kind of like, oh shit.
So it's not going to have any effect on that at all.
Well, she made it sound like it's not going to have any extra effect than the power they already have if they choose to utilize it.
So then
if the government wants to go after you, they can.
So maybe we're talking about, and we're not talking about a federal coin. Maybe we're talking about a worldwide coin, ultimately.
Oh yeah, well,
that's going to be controlled by the World Economic Forum and the World Bank.
Yeah, that's a whole nother level of discussion.
But
I haven't even gotten
pretty much
that
have
one yet.
those two with the special rights with the World Bank, so they won't do a World Bank one. They would do it with each individual bank, is what I was reading. Or you would have a certain amount of central banks, or the top banks would pretty much do it.
Right.
But the difference, Tone, like what you're saying, is the difference would be is you'd have a bank that could shut you off instead of a government. The bank would be able to say, like right now, you're saying the government can go after you whenever you want, but with this, the bank can go after you too.
The scary thing about a digital coin is, like, if they, let's say, here's where it would concern me. Let's say if we walk this forward 10 years and the Fed says, and the government says, we're going to make sure everybody in the country has access to either a cell phone or a computer. So you all have electronic access, and we're going to stop printing cash. No more cash. Your cash is going to be CBDC. Then that gets scary, because they can track everything,
every transaction,
and you don't have anything that you can stuff under the mattress.
Right.
That's the level where I get worried. When they say there's going to be no more cash, that's when you need to be concerned.
Physical cash.
Right.
Yeah. It's not just the coin. It's in conjunction with eliminating the physical cash.
That would be a concern to me. A CBDC alone, the way they're talking about it now, is not concerning, but you got to think a couple steps ahead. Where are they taking this? And I do think they could take it to that, because there were a lot of questions from the House about making sure that we can put a stop to illicit transactions, drugs, etc. And so
they want to monitor who's buying the drugs, man.
Right. So
they can't use that excuse for Bitcoin anymore.
Wouldn't surprise me if the ultimate iteration of a central bank digital currency 10, 20 years down the road is to control everything. But immediately. It's not. It's gonna sound a little sweeter. I'll talk about it as it comes. Right now, in phase 1, you don't need to worry about that. But multiple iterations down the road, yes, you ought to be worried about that.
Mrs. Simon is in the house. Someone just asked, let's see. Oh, someone was saying elevator frequency said control. Hold on. Things going quick. Control the food and you'll control the people, control energy, you control a nation, control money, and you control the world. Man, these phrases are so applicable. You could stick any phrase from history pretty much, and you could fit it in today's timeline some point in the last 2 years. I swear. Almost any cliche.
Or like the Rothschilds saying, I don't care who makes the laws, just give me the,
Yes.
give me the power of their money and I'm good to go.
Steven says, why do you think they're holding us from running? They're going to track our money no matter what. Do you think anyone's holding us from running right now?
Yeah, the feds. They're buying every single mortgage-backed security known to man. They're fucking bailing them out with
pumping all this
repo,
liquidity,
giving them everything you could think of. The feds are the reason why we haven't squeezed already. 100%.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think there's any chance tomorrow? So what tomorrow besides this Fed meeting? I don't know when we got crazy feedback again.
Yeah,
I don't know whose side it's on.
I don't know what that is. I'm on mute.
You're on mute? Okay. I think it's gone now. Yep, it's gone. Damn it! What the hell was I just saying?
You were talking about if anyone's holding us back.
Oh. Yeah, about the Federal Reserve. Yeah, so I don't know. The whole coin thing, I honestly, I really I hope this isn't going where I think it's going, but just everyone's been saying it's conspiracy theories over and over and over again, but the actual words are coming out of people's mouths who we know they're going over seas from this country and other countries around the world. They're definitely talking about this behind the scene, no doubt about it, that they want to get this all digitalized. I mean, it's digitized, and make it in conjunction with health records and everything else. They want everything to be tied up in one nice bow so that they can be able to track you, your spending, your health, everything, social distancing, all of it. I think
And then what are they going to do with that? They're going to sell your data.
Is that your real picture, Biggums?
What's that?
Someone asked in the chat, "Is that your real picture?"
The one from Chappelle. Norvo says,
I love that.
Yeah. That's up right now. Norvo says that is the only thing Lou is right on. It's being a managed event, and that's why we haven't squeezed yet. There's so many ways to interpret that managed event.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to say something, Biggums?
Oh no, you're good. Like you said, it's just. I mean, it's definitely managed by the feds, 100%.
Right. I mean, at any point, someone could say this has been a managed event. It's been managed since January 28th of last year when they took away the buy button. You could claim, right? It's been managed since then.
Yeah, I was like, that's managing it right there. Exactly. Definition of it.
Right. Steven says, this is one of the best streams I've had. Pleasure. Thanks, Steven. Appreciate it. Lizzie says, did you listen to Davos tracking humans, medical pills? Yes. And the CEO of Pfizer. We did. We talked about that.
I almost couldn't believe what I heard. I had to listen to him say it twice.
I know. Adrian says, Biggums is pretty fly for an ape guy. Nice. I like it. Chris Montague says, hell yes, it is. That's what Biggums looks like to me when he talks. Oh, boy.
Someone asked in the chat, Denaro, when are you going to start buying options? I've been buying options on AMC since late May. When we went under $14, I bought some call options for July. And when we went under $12, I bought more for September expiration. So I always preach, don't buy this week's options because they can manage the max pain But if you give yourself 60 or 90 or more days, if you can afford it, there's many times where we get these spikes, and I will be selling into any next run up. Every time that I bought options, which has only been maybe 3 before this, I've made 2, 3, 500% because I'm not trying to diamond hand options. That's my money plays. I'm diamond handing the shares. But buy them when you feel the most depressed. When you think the price can't go any lower, that's a good sign. It's the time to start looking at call options. How much lower could it go?
Would you be surprised if they came out of the gate tomorrow morning with a full court press attack on AMC with shorts? Would you be shocked?
No, nothing would surprise me. And the second thing on my call options, I'm buying them close to the current price, not no $70 strikes. Mine are
Right.
$16 and $20 strikes.
And putting them out, right? You're putting them out a couple weeks.
Putting
at
them
least.
out as long as I can feel, as long as I'd buy them 6 months out if I wanted to spend $500 each, but kind of my sweet spot is around $200 per contract.
Peter Jefferson says, we really are heading into the fourth turning. This play will possibly be the last one like this of its kind. Yeah, Peter, think about it, right? And the guy there that wrote the book and talked about the fourth turning, talked about the Federal Reserve and how they have been trying to basically, curtail inflation, and they've basically been meddling with the normal economic cycles that we have of recession and then growth and anticipation, and they've been trying to insert themselves in and spray money around when they think we need it, and it's totally ruined economic policy in this country and the dollar itself. Mexican Silverback says, Massalorian, you're describing what's happening in South Korea. Everything is a QR code. South Korea tracks everything you do. Yeah, I don't see how we're that far off from that, especially with this administration. Thomas J says, good night, everyone. 8432. I feel, oh yeah, that's Thomas's number, 8432. 8432, and there's no turning back, right? Liz claiming, good evening. Lupe, good evening. Let's see. Already done that. Says Jay's 22B. In Australia, even the RDSs have cameras tracking cars. Medicare shared over our data over 24 months ago. Yeah, Jay, if you're in Australia, that's crazy. Your government's nuts. Did you see that Trudeau just came out a couple hours ago and is trying to get an emergency order passed to ban and put a freeze on the purchase of all guns in Canada? Just came out, national statement.
Nope.
Yep. Just came out. Let's see. Hang on. This chat's flying again. Never happened. It's too complicated for even the Fed to figure out. Crypto to stay, says Tefame. Liz Clayman's whistle says, Massalorian, did you see the 2 videos? Yes. Yeah. That's what just made me think of it. Yes. Thank you very much. Someone is asking, Tony, he does look like Dave Matthews. That's who it is. Eric, nice, bro. I've been trying to think of who Tony reminds me of a little bit. When I make the thumbnail photos, especially, I'm like, I'll go scrolling through and be like, when did I make a Dave Matthews thumbnail? I'm like, oh, that's Tony Denaro. What am I thought it was Dave Matthews.
After all the comments about being old, ugly, and low energy, I'll take any compliments I can get.
Oh, yeah. That's a good compliment. Too bad you don't have his bankroll. Mr. Cheese 88 says, One World Earth Rule. There was a book of ancient that predicted this. Could be, I don't know, maybe Revelation is talking about. Peter Jefferson says, yes, the minute the candidate proposal for banning all handguns, let me know you're heading to a point of return. They would use dollars to get people to forfeit over their rights. Yeah, look how fast the truckers took off. As soon as their accounts got frozen, that thing came to a swift end, right? If you can't eat, you can't protest.
I'm trying to think what I'm going to do if they decide to come for our AR-15s.
I don't know. I don't have one, so I don't know.
Biden's talking about that.
Yeah, he even said something about extended magazines today, and not even extended magazines. He said he wants to eliminate anything over
High
10
caliber.
round clips, right?
And
Biggums?
high caliber bullets.
Okay, that, and also he wants a max of 10 rounds per clip, right?
And yep.
I mean, how many tens of millions of guns right now are out in the streets that have 17 round clips, 18 round, or the capacity to fire that many rounds? How would you ever be able to collect all those guns and then with the 10 round gun say it's an even fair fight? You can't. Not when you have half the ammo.
And half of them don't register their fucking shit. How are you going to get them? See, the problem with them doing all this stuff is you're going to end up getting criminals that didn't register it will be the only ones keeping them.
Look at California right now. Every house, jacking, the muggings, no one can carry a firearm and everyone's getting jacked. Nobody's defending themselves. There was a party this weekend in Oklahoma, I believe. Some guy drove by. He was screaming at the party, saying they were too loud. Some guys told him to screw off. He came back with a machine gun, started firing into the crowd, and some chick pulled out a gun and shot him dead. Guy with a long criminal record. But you didn't hear about it on the news, right? Shot. I believe the crowd was like 40 people. They said he shot into it with an AR-15, and she shot him in the head and killed him as he was driving by. And not a people on the news.
I don't know how many more news articles do we need to hear about 9/11, 9/11 hanging up on people in a mass shooting, and the police not going in to take out a gunman. Which side of that equation do you want to be on? Do you want to be on the side where you're able to defend yourself, or you're waiting for these people that won't come in the building and hang up on people calling for help? I can tell you which side of the equation I want to be on, and that is the ability to defend myself if I choose to arm myself and be properly trained in the use of that weapon.
Absolutely. It sounds like there was failure at every level in this the tactical operation behind getting these kids out and killing this guy. From everything that I've heard, it basically took the border patrol to show up and say, "F this, we're going in. We're not gonna use the chain of command." They had tactical gear, they had a riot shield, so they could go in. But when you're law enforcement and they were just trained on this 2 months ago, according to the San Antonio paper, they were saying they were just trained on this on an active shooter in a school 2 months ago, and the first thing they tell you is eliminate the shooter. No matter what, you got to put yourself in harm's way. You are law enforcement. You make a decision to protect and serve. You got to put your body on the line. I get that. And if the situation is how it's being explained now, it's on their heads. People should be prosecuted for that, I think. And I'm a big fan that you need law enforcement. You do. You need to have law and order. You can't have people running around robbing and stealing 24/7 with no repercussions. But I just took that down. That was a question for you, Tony. Hang on, sorry. So did you see what that question was? Here you go. Mike is asking this question right here. Tony, what do y'all think kicks AMC GME off this executive order or? Damn, I didn't see that was the question. What'd you say? Biggums?
I'm gonna say phase 6.
What did he say?
I couldn't understand what you're saying, Biggums.
Phase 6.
Oh, phase 6.
Cat phase 6.
Cat phase 6.
I think, for GME, the most interesting upcoming catalyst besides the NFT marketplace is the stock split and dividend. I'm very curious to see how that plays out.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm watching in terms of GME. Both of them have AMC and GameStop both have increasing short interest and increasing cost to borrow, which is also very interesting. GME is actually ahead of AMC in that regard. For AMC, what I'm really focusing on in the land of reality is AMC getting back towards profitability levels, which might, if there's no other catalyst, might take a year or two. But I'm hopeful that there will be catalysts before that. Is it going to be the executive order? I don't know. It's fairly lined up 2 times prior, so I'm taking a optimistic wait and see, and I got some call options lined up just in case. What else we got? Massive movies coming out in Q2. What else we got, Massalorian, besides?
We got the box office weekend that we just had. We have the interest rate, not the interest rate.
What other movies?
Movies. Jurassic Park's coming up in 2 weeks. Then Thor: Love and Thunder's coming right after that. So we have like 4 major blockbusters this quarter. We're gonna have Doctor Strange, Top Gun, Jurassic World, and Thor: Love and Thunder. So we should have at least 4 $150 to $300 million movies. So we're talking like $1 billion in revenue.
And the reason those movies are important is as these box office revenues pile up and they being the hedge funds and the media, irrefutable evidence that people are going back to the movies. They can't keep up with this narrative. You already see it shifting in the headlines. And I put some of it in my video today. The headlines are starting to shift, saying people are going back to the movies. Maybe this is not a dying industry. And Netflix is getting wiped out. And I read an article this weekend that I should have put this in the video. Maybe I'll talk about it tomorrow. All of the streaming services are second guessing themselves now. They're all planning to scale back their investments because they're watching Netflix fail. And they also don't need to keep up with Netflix anymore. So what happens when all these streaming services start dialing back their content and dialing back their investment? Are people going to rush to go to them, or is the opposite going to happen? So I think there's a pretty compelling story for AMC and against the streaming services that wasn't there during the pandemic. And that is, again, very bullish for me. Is it going to be bullish by June 3rd? I don't care, because I'm not trying to pick a date. I've already been in it for a year.
I know. At this point, seriously. Tony, Lizzie's asking, Tony, is it true that resource officers in Texas are unarmed? That can't be true, right? What's the point? What would be the point?
I'm not gonna try and answer for every resource officer. I don't know.
Rick Smith says, this was the long game, guys. Weakening demand citizens of their guns, so there's no way for them to respond to lockdowns. They transferred a lot of wealth up during those lockdowns. I'll tell you that, boys and girls. They knew a huge riot is coming to North America in the future, so they are coming for your guns now before the chaos begins. Oh, boy. Fuck. Biggums, you still there? You with us?
Yeah, what's up?
Okay, that's just making sure. Just making sure. Biden wants our assault rifles and 9mm. How is a single shot in an assault weapon? So again, always remember, guys, AR does not stand for assault rifles. It's the name of the company that makes the rifle. What the hell are they called? Doesn't stand for assault or automatic.
Wait, what was your question?
I forget what it stands for too.
It's the name of the gun.
I have
the company that built it.
That made the assault rifle?
No, it's not assault rifle, and it's not. No, it's neither one. Armalite. AR is for Armalite, the name of the company which manufactured the original AR-15, which eventually they sold the patent to Colt, which sold their version to the U.S. military as the M16. So it's Armalite, ARMALITE.
Armalite rifle.
So right, so you'd only be getting rid of just these particular Armalite rifles. That's it. I don't know what just happened.
Well, I mean, they'll be getting rid of all of the manufacturers if they get rid of it. Mine's a Colt. I have a Colt AR-15.
Yep. So I guess now you could say it's that exact style. It has to be those exact specs, whatever it is, everything. I'm sure, diameter of the barrel and all that. The rounds,
if
everything
looks scary.
Yeah, right. Let's see. I'm just picking random comments, guys. No, it's nothing against anyone. Avatar at the end of the year, absolutely. I didn't even think of that, but yeah, it's gonna be a huge movie when it'll have about 10 days this year. for that money to come in towards paying off that debt. When AMC profitability, Midnight Gamer says, I don't think we're that far off, Midnight Gamer. It just depends. We need a couple things to happen, I think. I think a
I've
crypto
been
coin would
working
really help
on
push us up.
I've been working on a video on that very topic for the last week, and I've got like 50 tabs open to for the DD on that. But I'm kind of waiting. I was waiting for this Maverick Top Gun weekend, so you can hopefully expect to see that later this week. When profitability.
Biggins, if you had to take a guess at how many windows what's the most number of windows you've ever had open at one time doing DD? How many would you say it is? Like, would you say you'd have 30 at once?
More than that.
More? It's like more than that.
There was a week straight, dude, where I had fucking 8 windows open and I had about 50 tabs on everyone. But I couldn't even find anything, dude. It's crazy.
Insane.
It's always a relief to finish a video because I can close like 20 or 30
25
tabs.
windows.
Yeah, I can finally shut my computer off for like a day.
I know. I'll have like 4 or 5 different thumbnails going on 2 different sites.
After this play is over, I'm gonna, fuck due diligence. I'm just gonna go stand out under the light post, turn on my phone.
Walter, good evening, says, if you take the amount of total shares of AMC being larger than GME, doesn't that make CTB higher than it seems for AMC, kind of, sort of, or no? So cost to borrow right now is, what were you just saying? It's about 8% on AMC, right, T? And
the average is 14. The minimum's, I think, 8. They're 7.
Oh, minimum
6,
is 8. The average is 14?
Yeah,
okay.
I think it was something like that.
And GME is what? Did we know?
GME was high as fuck.
Like 79%, right? Something crazy.
It was high up there.
Yeah, it was way up there. Shit.
GME will do a little pop ski here pretty quick. And somebody asked if I had GameStop earlier, and yes, I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think to answer his question, yes, the fact that there are more shares of AMC give them more ammo, and I have not believed the Ortex 100% utilization for months. Until you see cost to borrow going up, that's when you know they're getting close to 100% utilization, not some stupid number on the Ortex tab. That's just bullshit.
Brett says,
We're getting close.
Happened? Brett says, do you know what happened when we told the British where our firearms were? Yes. They came to collect them. It's right down the street from where I am right now. Tony Mass and AMC Biggums, great job tonight. Time to it really is literally like 20 minutes from where I am right now. Great job tonight. Got to be ready at 4 a.m. in case of a squeeze. Have a great night. Mexican Silverback, thanks for coming by, brother, and hanging out with us. Yes, be ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't want to stay up too late tonight because I know I'm not going to sleep anyways. And I want to be up early to watch pre-market. So
I'm trying to think of the last time I pulled an all-nighter for AMC. It's been a couple weeks. Like an all-nighter right through to the next day. It's been a couple weeks. Let's see. Top Gun movie was so good, says Pam. Hedge tards want to tire us out. We ain't selling. No matter how... when I was doing that research on Chris's Nolan short videos, everybody in the chat, like across the board, is like, I don't really give a shit what you say. I'm just holding. I really don't care anymore. I don't care. They just can't have them. Can Biggums touch on Cat Phase 6? I haven't heard about that yet. Biggums, can you retouch on that real quick, or?
Yeah, so
sorry, man.
Right now, no, you're good. In ISDA, right now, what's going on is the banks write an ISDA contract with a market maker, a hedge fund, and right now, when they don't have to deposit any collateral, so they can write unlimited agreements, and this is where they're able to, for the last year, push everything off. And Phase 6 is going to make it so there's a centralized repository system that tracks these now. It's no longer going to be the bank's word, and now they're going to have the SEC watch the deposits and the transaction take place and make sure the collateral is deposited instead of being slapped on the credit support annex. So Phase 6 will end their unlimited supply glitch.
Hope that explains that a little better. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Man, I'm way behind the chat, guys. I got to jump ahead. If you see how far behind I am. My apologies. Mr. Mr. Cheese 88 says, yeah, we are at a point where people like me have gotten over the initial fear sentiment. Yeah, I think a lot of people have. I think a lot of people, I mean, even meet Kevin, who's supposed to be the like professional guru, still acts like a child when it comes to market moves. It's ridiculous. Get a grip. Get a hold of yourself. Tristan says, goodbye, excited for tomorrow. We'll be up early, y'all. 20 Denaro going live at Open Body tomorrow will be big. Tristan, have a good night, man. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out with us.
I will see you in the morning, Tristan. Thank you.
Let's see. Top Gun Maverick so good, says Debbie Smith. Who's ready for pre-market, says Norm. Sir Hoddle Holdington. That's a great name. Sir Hodler. Sir Hodler would be. I like Sir Hoddle though.
Who saw Top Gun Maverick more than 2 times?
This guy.
Anybody? I saw it twice. I haven't seen it on IMAX yet. I might go a 3rd time this week.
Grandpa Bunny says, as a first responder for Power, I work with law enforcement and I asked them about confiscating guns. Most said they would refuse to go house to house. They know. And Grandpa Bunny, thanks for the to the chat. Thank you very much. Yeah, good point.
Thank you, Grandpa. I'm going to adopt Grandpa Barney after this is over.
I was going to say, I lost both of mine, so I'm ready for, yeah, if you're looking for a new grandson who's extremely respectable to his elders, send me an email. Chris says, I'm getting tired of seeing Meet Kevin's FUD. I know, it's ridiculous. Him and that Jay Bravo guy, like, should start collabing together.
Good night, Jennifer.
Common Sense Investor, good evening. How you doing tonight? Let's see. Not to hunt, Brett says. Brett LaPointe. Not to hunt.
Someone asked if I'll be joining, I guess, Pam's Discord after the stream. I've been working since this morning nonstop.
I don't believe that.
And I haven't even eaten since this morning. So next on my agenda is eat some food and then make sure Scarlett's still talking to me.
Brett says Short the Vix is already his grandson. Damn it. I might have to get rid of Short the Vix. I'm thinking Jack in the Box taco. That sounds good, Adrian.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I started talking about In-N-Out, talking day trading earlier, and I started thinking about In-N-Out Burger, and I just had to put it in the video. I was like, I just want to see what one looks like because we can't get them here on the East Coast. So anytime I say In-N-Out, talking about stocks, I always think of burgers. It's horrible. Very
Have you
bad,
had a Whataburger?
No, I haven't. Whataburger, no. They have that in Texas?
Yes. That we're very offended when you say In-N-Out Burger.
Why?
Since we know what a real burger and fries are.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. What's Whataburger? Is it similar? The same style of like that quick?
It's actually a burger with meat and a good Texas size burger versus In-N-Out with your patty that's a 1/16 of an inch thick. No.
Can you cook it to order, like temperature? Like you can get it medium rare if you want from Whataburger, or do they cook it pretty much through?
I've never asked them for the temperature, so I don't know. But
okay, if they're thick enough, you might be able to. I don't know. Biggums, where are you? What part of the country are you in?
Minnesota.
Oh, you're up north, huh? Up north? Okay.
There's nothing quite like a double Whataburger with cheese and bacon.
That sounds
especially
good.
at 2 a.m. in the morning.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Biggums, how do you like living up there, by the way? I'm just curious. I don't know anybody who lives up in Minnesota. How do you like it up there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Nice and quiet?
Everybody's nice as fuck.
Everybody's nice? Yeah.
Super nice up here.
How's the weather right now?
We just had a tornado, like 3 of them today. That's crazy, but finally nice up.
All right. Sounds good. Whataburger.
Not snowing, can't complain.
It's not snowing at the end of May. Actually, what's tomorrow? The last day of May? Yeah, so that's good. That's good. Yeah, we're not snowing here either, so I'll take it, right? Let's see. BioLife, good evening tonight. He says, Whataburger is called Waterburger here in Alabama. They keep their cooked burgers in water. So I've seen people boil and steam hamburgers. There's a place in Connecticut that steams hamburgers. I don't know if any of my locals.
Sounds horrible.
Supposedly it's really good. I don't know. People rave about them. I've never had it. Mr. Simon, good evening. How you doing tonight? He says Whataburger sucks. Uh-oh, Tony. You gotta defend your clan here. Tony, stop saying In and Out. It's making me go crazy, you handsome devil. I am more of an In and Out burger guy. Whataburger has better fries. There you go. Liz
They have
says I
decent
don't like
onion rings too.
where Whataburger. Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Elias. How do you say this name here? Aaliyah says Aliyah H. White Castle steams their burgers. That's right. White Castle steams their burgers. That's right. That's right. Good point. Let's see here. Freedom State says Frozen State Production says humid but breezy, looking to move out. Oh, so we got another Minnesota here. Frozen State Productions. You must be subscribed to Hope Frozen State. He's up in your. Let's see. Hope for a Generation says In and Out #1, Whataburger #2. Aaliyah, I missed that one. I must have been after the green hair. I thought it was a computer generated thing. Red Robin, man, we got all kinds of people here weighing in this burger thing. It's gonna
Man,
to be
Culver's
a war.
has the best burgers, dude.
Who?
You ever had Culver's? Culver's?
No.
They got
Culver's?
Wisconsin cheese on there, dude. Oh, so good.
Ooh, that sounds good. Wisconsin's like the best cheese you can get, right? Pretty much. Yeah, that sounds
they're
good.
Amazing, dude. Or have you ever heard of Five Guys?
Oh yeah, we
Guys
have
got
Five Guys on the
up
East Coast. Yeah,
They're
yeah, we
good,
got
man.
that. Yeah, they're very good. Yep. Yes.
I was
indeed,
cracking up
indeed.
at the comment. The guy said he asked his girlfriend if she'd like Five Guys.
At once. She said no. Go Red Sox. Even with that horrible loss to the Birds, have been looking good. Go Celtics. Sir Hodlington, absolutely. Celtics on the road, taking down John Wick and Sniping's Miami Heat in 7. Going to the finals against the Golden State Warriors. Exciting. Record number 22 title. Let's see. Eric says Tony number letter says Five Guys is the best. Eric says Tony, what indicators? Jesus. Do you have on
What do
your
you-
chart when look?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So first of all, I'm looking to buy call options, not when the price is moving up and everybody else is buying them, because as demand goes up and implied volatility goes up, some of these options get very expensive, right? So you need if you have a stock that you want to trade options in, first of all, you need to go look at it and understand what the historical volatility is, so that you know when the implied volatility is high. There's no set number of IV for one particular stock. Each one has their own historical, but when you see that implied volatility is getting high, then what that means is it's going to take an even bigger move in the direction you were wanting it to go to actually turn a profit. So if you don't want to learn all that stuff, just use a tool like Options Profit Calculator is one. Optionsstrat.com is another one. These are free tools. You can plug in a option that you're considering. You can use the tools there to put in a different date or for your expiration or a different strike price. And it will throw up a table and tell you in a range of stock prices what your payout's going to be. And, you know, my formula is pretty simple. If I don't have a chance to make at least 100% gain pretty easily with a $5 or $6, $7 move in the stock, then I don't buy it. Typically, that's because the IV is too high. And it is getting high in AMC right now. I want a chance to make 100 to 500% on a decent move of the stock, not a $40 or $50 move.
Okay. Sorry, the chat's being sick. The dollar store sells the canned burgers. They are delicious. Jesus Christ. California Dream Home says, I watched Top Gun twice already, and I'll watch it for a third time this week. Yeah, I'm bummed out. I was supposed to go today, but I ran out of time. Sucks. Maybe later this week.
Double Moass burger with mayo.
That sounds good. Do they have that at AMC theaters? I just saw Pam was talking about the burger at AMC. That would be sweet if it's called the Double Moass burger.
My son had when we went to go see Top Gun, he got the burger and fries. He liked the
Oh.
burger. He said the fries were just so. I tried them. They were okay. They weren't the worst fries I've had.
Okay. Salty? What was wrong with them? Not crunchy, soggy? What was,
Yeah,
what were we
they weren't super crunchy. They didn't have all the flavor of like a McDonald's fry, but they were
Got it.
salty enough. They tasted fine to me.
Got it.
I would have ate them, except I was already eating popcorn with butter. So how much more fat could I make myself eat fries too?
Right. Jeff Norman says, my wife told me to be more in touch with my feminine side, so I crashed the car. Then I ignored her all day for no reason. Jesus. CSI says, talking about burgers slows down the MOAS. What time is it? 12:30? All right. We're probably, yeah, we got to probably get going. I don't know what time you can stay on till. Biggums, did you have somewhere you got to do or get to? Are you trying to get to bed or?
I'm just.
We were gonna stay on for maybe 15 more minutes. You cool?
Yeah,
chill?
that's fine.
Okay. All right. If you guys want to ask, I haven't been able. Me and Biggums have had trouble, and it's probably because of me hooking up. So if you have something to ask him right now, especially if you're like one of my subs, and in case we MOAS this week, you never get to talk to him again. Just say your goodbyes now. No, I'm just kidding. If you have a question for Biggums, I want to get it out there now. So if you're one of my subs, then in case he doesn't come back on for a little bit, I'll try and find you. Massalorian Prometheus says Massalorian Armorlight's first patent was in 52, model 14, then 59, model number 15. That's where the 15 comes from. 1959 model number. Got it. Thank you, Prometheus. Christian Princess says, good night, all. Looking forward to 4 a.m. Man. I wonder how many of us
Hunter
are
has a
tossing and
question
turning
for
tonight.
Biggums.
Is Jackson Hunter in the chat right now?
Oh, what's up, Jackson? How you doing, buddy?
Jackson, what's up? Hold on. Let me just get it up. Get it up. Yes, Jackson. Rick James says we're not going to MOAS in a week. How do you know, Rick James? Who told you that? Let's see. I'm trying to pull up Jackson's question, but I don't even see it here.
He didn't ask the question yet. He just said he has a question.
Oh, here it is. No, I got it. He did. It's right here. How much do you love me, Biggums? Jackson Hunter would like to know. Can you please answer this man? If I can get
I don't even know if there's a word that describes it, buddy. Too intense.
Some serious bromance going on here.
Since he's here, I want to tell Jackson Hunter I love him too, and I did not include him in my video today, and I'm just like wanting to punch myself in the face at that oversight. That was not intentional. I was trying to go through all of my people that I'm subbed to and get everybody in there, and somehow I overlooked you. So please accept my apology, and I'll send you a bottle of champagne after the MOAS. That was just an oversight, and I feel really bad.
I got to say this too. I've never been able to talk to you before, Jackson, but you were one of the first people that I saw after Trey that talked me into buying AMC. It was one of your videos, I believe, when we were like between $7 and $8, and you convinced me to add to my position, my original position back at the end of February. I kind of cooled off from the idea a little bit, and then I started seeing some of your videos, and that kept me pretty much kept me in the play, I think, to be honest with you. So I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you being there from the beginning, way back when.
He's got another channel also. If you ever have trouble falling asleep, he's got a channel where you can listen to soothing music to relax and meditate, which I do find useful from time to time if I can't shut my brain off. Jackson,
like
tell us the name of your other channel while folks are in the chat here.
Yeah, put it up in the chat, Jackson. I'll throw it up on the screen.
Pantheon says Tony skipped me
that.
too. Pantheon, because I didn't have your face, buddy. As soon as your face is visible, we'll get you in.
It was noticed. It was noted.
Yes,
noted. We discussed it.
I already
we
caught
talked
hell
about
for that too. I did think about Pantheon, but I was like, well, I don't have a face.
Let's see. Grandpa Barney says Biggums Grandpa needs a live stream. I have a super for you I've been saving. All right, you hear that, Biggums?
What's up?
Grandpa's waiting for you. He has a super waiting for you. So he's waiting for a live stream.
Okay. I'll be doing one pretty soon here. I haven't been on YouTube in like weeks, man. Almost a month.
Acceptance,
Sorry.
Acceptance is Jackson Hunter's channel.
Acceptance. Let me put it up. Biggums, do you have a day job?
Yeah, I program. I'm a SQL coder and developer.
Secret program?
SQL, SQL.
SQL. Thank you, Biggums. I've watched your videos from the start. Great work, says Steven.
Thank you, my friend.
Harry Parrott says, go ahead.
I'm going to drop one other thing that I talked about on my live streams, but since I have everybody here and maybe a couple people that have not been on my live streams, after your next squeeze or whenever you get a sizable trading account, I want you guys to go talk to an attorney about getting LLC set up to protect your assets. I know a lot of people don't talk about this. Maybe I'll do a video on it. If you're going to be trading still, like I have all my trading account in an LLC. And why do you do that? For protection. If you drive your car through a stoplight and crash into someone, all of your money is at risk. And a limited liability corporation provides a legal separation. So we can talk about that more in another video. I'm not an attorney, but I have several LLCs,
So they
including
couldn't come after
all
you.
my stock trading account.
So in that case, they wouldn't be able to come after private property or family or anything like that, right?
In that case, what?
They wouldn't be able to come. They wouldn't be able to come after you for like personal items or real estate.
They would come after you, but your LLC is a separate legal entity.
That's what I'm saying. It protects you from that. Yep. And they would give you a tax ID number for that, right? With an LLC.
It depends on how you set it up.
Okay.
I was like, I got an EIN number and everything too. I do the same thing, Tony.
Yeah. Last time, but they might have gave me a choice, right? You can use your social as well, or do you need a tax ID number for an LLC?
You don't need a tax ID number unless you're setting it up as a corporation or. Right. Some of mine have tax ID numbers, some don't. Someone says, can you transfer your money to a LLC later? Yes, you're going to have to fund it once you set it up. So I got the paperwork done through an attorney. Then I applied to Fidelity with my LLC paperwork, and then I funded the account from my LLC bank account. So my bank account is a separate account also.
Right. What about a DBA? Would that do the same thing?
Huh?
Could you create a DBA? Would that do the same thing? Or no?
DBA doesn't offer you legal separation of the assets.
Doesn't. Okay. You need the LLC. And for that LLC, do you need to have a business permit? Does that depend on the state? Is that state regulated or?
In most cases, LLC is going to be filed with the state. I don't want to, again, I'm not an attorney. I pay people to worry about that stuff. They just give me the papers to sign.
Got it. Everyone's saying that's great, Tony. Thanks for the tip. Tony. My LLC is awesome, says Adrian. No, DBA doesn't work, says Liz. There you go. So that's out the window. Common Sense Investor is saying, is NSCC 2022-003 in play now? I don't know. Was something supposed to go into effect today from the NSCC?
I don't know. I haven't checked on it recently.
Wasn't 003 the STF's facility?
So look.
If I remember right, or am I thinking of that? I'm pretty sure that's the SFTs.
Was that already? That was already passed?
No, I didn't think it was passed.
I didn't think so either. So I don't know why it would be in play now, CSI. I think that was that was still getting voted on at the beginning of April, right? 003.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
For those asking about a trust, That's why I said go talk to a competent attorney with specialization in that area and talk to them about your specific situation, your family, your other assets. They will guide you in the direction. Tell them, your goal is to protect your assets. And whether it's a LLC or a trust, don't skip that step is what I'm saying.
Yep.
And don't get your advice from some yahoos on YouTube. Go talk to someone who
hire a
this is their
CPA.
specialty.
Yep, some type of advisor. Jake, same thing with the trust. Yep, absolutely. Jeffrey says you do need to have a registered business with the state to acquire an LLC. That's what I'm pretty sure. The only thing is different, Jeffrey. I don't know. With me, I'm pretty sure I had to file it through my city because it was Boston. I don't know, but I'm 95% sure I had to go to City Hall, not the State House, to get that paperwork filled out.
DBAs you typically file at City Hall.
Oh, so maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was when
And
I first filed my
LLCs
DBA. That's what it was.
LLCs are typically filed with the state because
Yep.
it's a corporation.
Yep, I went from DBA to LLC, and I went to the State House after. Yep, you're right. You're right. Pantheon says NSCC 2022003 is still accepting comments and is still on the proposal stage. I thought so. Everyone's saying what's up to CSI. Jeff says has to be an irrevocable trust for creditor protection. All right. Pantheon, CSI Pantheon, it came out of comments last week. CSI says.
Did they get approved?
It should be right. It should be right on their homepage if it's still up for questions, and it will be labeled.
When it's final, it'll be in the final tab.
Right. To Fame says I like that Zip Trader guy. Shoot, I can't think of his name right now. Charlie, right? Yeah, Charlie.
I was looking at some regulations that were out of comments in the past few days. I don't remember. I don't know if it was 003, but when it comes out of comments, then they spend sometimes months reviewing those comments, talking internally, deciding if they're going to make any changes. They might resubmit it with changes for more comments. So the process could be extended for a year, even though comments have come back, until you see it in final and submitted in final to the Federal Registry. That's when you know it's final.
So Bulldog Trading says, I'm not trying to be an a-hole, but please do find professional advice about LLCs. They offer very little protection unless done very specifically. Thank you, Bulldog. And
go talk to an attorney. I'm putting the idea in your head to not just leave that money in your personal account is what I'm saying. Go talk to someone competent for protecting your assets. If you have a significant amount of money to worry about.
And if you guys don't know, I think Bulldog runs his channel 24/7 for crypto and during the day covering like all stocks. 24/7, I think his channel runs. So if you're ever looking for late night or overnight prices on anything, there's your one-stop place. Let's see. Jeff Norman says, realtor, of course, Pam. Rams got to run it back, baby. Rams. Oof. Angelina says, it is huge advice. Thoughts on Onyx, says Christopher Enox Hayes. Sorry if you already covered it. We haven't talked about it at all. And I know nothing about it.
I dropped a video on Onyx and JPM coin right before this live stream. So check that out when we're done here.
There you go. Yeah, Tony just dropped 2 videos today in the last like 4 hours. Yeah, man, appreciate it, Bulldog. I know, no, I know I haven't talked to you since like November or October. Yeah, man, appreciate you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. PV Vase says boys in the house. Charlie with a ravishing like button. Let's see. Trying to find. Oh, Gary the Gorilla. This comment here. Looks like Yellen is at the meeting tomorrow, according to investing.com. So that's the third source we've seen saying that Yellen, Powell, and Biden will be there together. That really concerns me. There was no spoken word about this meeting up until today, correct? Are we correct on that? There was no talk about this meeting or Yellen joining this meeting ever, right? Not that
I
I've
first
seen.
heard about the meeting yesterday, and tonight was the first time I heard of Yellen
Okay.
going there. So still new to me.
You have any thoughts on that, Biggums? Is there something maybe we're missing? A reason why tomorrow would be why they'd be going up to the hill to the White House tomorrow to talk to Biden face to face?
Honestly, I think it's just fucking because of the votes. I mean, I think he's gonna start losing votes, and gotta save some face right now. To be honest with you, I don't really see anything coming out of it. What are they gonna do? Rates are too high, like they did last time. They're not gonna come up with a solution that I can think of.
If nothing else, he can say, "Look, I met with Old Yeller and Jerry P, and unfortunately, there's nothing that I can do or any Democrat because inflation is out of control, and we just got to let them do what they're going to do. I mean, they got to fix it." That
Yeah,
could be one outcome, or they could
but
just
I
be
think it is.
tinfoil hatting it to change the plan and save the election for the Democrats. Who knows? I guess we'll find out.
We shall see. Steve J, thank you very much for keeping the lights on. The chat says, "What is the whole ordeal? AMC halt in Germany." So, Steve, from what we can tell, apparently on the sites when the market closes across the board, every stock is labeled that way. So it's nothing specific to AMC. We looked at what do we look at? Porsche and another company, right? And they all had the same label. And a gentleman from Germany was on the chat, basically verifying that for us. Let's see. Biden won't get a second term, says Cal J. I don't know if he's going to be around for that. The silky smooth sounds of the hookah lounge, says Adrian. William says the meeting is about AMC and stopping the MOAS. Yeah, that's what everybody's thinking, right? But there's so many issues going on right now in this administration. It could be a number of things. There could be a number of things they need to speak about. Arthur
I just
says,
I don't see that Biden and Powell's main concern is what happens with one stock.
or even or any type of, I mean, unless this is just completely insane and there's just 25 to 50 companies shorted 10 times over the floor.
Yeah, if the craziest of tinfoil hat theories are true, and this is going to crash the entire stock market. Yes, but I don't think they'd be announcing that. There's going to be some secret backroom meetings with Powell and Yellen and the president and Ken Griffin and BlackRock. We're not going to know about that shit.
PVV says wife in Germany couldn't buy AMC. Okay, so this is something different than we're talking about. We were talking about something specific to a website that was saying that stocks have been halted. I don't know anything about this PVV. I don't know where in Germany. Do you have anything that shows that she was having? Is there any way to show us that actually happened? That would be huge. William says it was a lame joke. Let's see. Tell Dog says that's some backdoor shit for real. Yeah, 100%. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. Has anyone else talked about this? This has come up many times now about the Germany thing today.
We have people in my live streams. I'm surprised none of them are awake yet and in the chat that are in Germany. Maybe
there
I'll
have
find
been a
out
couple.
in the morning.
There have been a couple people who have jumped in the chat. C Hill says Yellen has to be there to randomly babbles to Powell. She has to define transitory. Define transitory, Janet. Watch them demonize the retail investor. They're already doing that, right? Didn't Griffin just blame us the other day? Said retail destroyed Melvin, and we put Gabe Plotkin out of his misery. Massalorian, comment to what you said earlier. 40 of brokers and air traffic controllers die of premature deaths at an early age from stress, anxiety, etc. The hell did I say about air traffic controllers? I don't even remember talking about flying. I need to go to bed. Was I talking about airplanes earlier? I don't remember talking about airplanes at all. or air traffic controllers. Harry Parrott says tightening starts tomorrow, supposedly. Yeah, Chris, we've known about that for a while, though. That has nothing to do. That can't have anything to do with the meeting tomorrow. There's no need to meet in face-to-face for that.
I'll give you a sneak preview of my video I've been working on to talk about quantitative tightening. The last time they did this, when Trump was in office, over a year or so, they only lowered the balance sheet by 15% over like 12 to 18 months. And there was some impact in the stock market. Remember Trump complaining about the stock market going down?
Yes, I do.
So,
you said that was the first time you remember hearing that from a president, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, the outcome is uncertain at best, but it could be some negative impact on the market. So just be prepared if you see the market going down in the next couple of weeks. If they blame it on QT, that it could be the case.
I know. How are we supposed to trust Janet Yellen when we know what she makes in her speaking fees for JP and all the banks, man? I mean, that's her bread and butter. How are we going to expect her to do anything that's going to help retail right now? You can't. Adrian says Janet Yellen needs to tighten her lips. All kind of lies fall from a face gap without her even realizing it. 1796 Patriot Act says, I think you're wasting your time. She's obviously buying the Kool-Aid. She might be making the Kool-Aid. Anya says, die and you can stay home forever. What time is the Fed meeting tomorrow? That's a good question. I don't know, Tracy. Chat, does anyone know? Biggums, do you know what time the Fed meeting is tomorrow by any chance? Or Tony?
You mean the meeting with Biden?
Yeah,
with Biden and Powell.
Yeah.
I just read the headline. I didn't see if they had a time for it. Let me see. Biden pledges to back Fed in effort to combat high inflation. What did I just say? He's going to say, there's nothing I can do. You know, this is the Fed's job to fight inflation. They're going to have to raise interest rates, you know.
Yeah, like I said, this is all just to save face for the Democrats.
Window dressing.
They know. Yeah, exactly. They know they're so screwed right now. But yeah, it's just a blame deflection on the Feds right now is really all this is gonna be.
The numbers don't look good, and I think their biggest problem right now, the Democrats' biggest problem right now, is all of these people that they just let in the last 2 to 3 years, who they're trying to get for a new Democratic base. These people who are coming to this country, a lot of them have almost lean probably more towards the right of center. There's a good chance they want stronger borders. There's a good chance they want some type of regulation on abortion. A lot of them are Catholic. Abortion is Nancy Pelosi can't even get her communion. Mexico is like 99.9% Roman Catholic. So good luck, Joe Biden, pulling off those 3 million votes and spreading them to try to stay in power longer. Because I think I think they're barking up the wrong tree. I think all these people are going to be looking for the same things that me and you are looking for right now out of this administration to fix. Go ahead, T. I can tell you. You look like you wanted to say something.
Oh, I was just looking at the clock.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry, guys. All right. So let's wind this down. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. We've been on for 4 hours. Nice. Oh, 3.5 hours, right? Not bad. Not bad.
I just want to say thank you to everybody for joining tonight. I'll be live in the morning, and please check out my 2 videos that I put out today if you haven't seen them yet. Thank you for watching, guys. We love you.
Biggums, you want to shout your channel, bro?
Value.
Oh, no, that's right. But Tony, if you want to work on anything tomorrow, I'm off all day. So if you want to work on that video or anything, just DM me or whatever.
Yeah, do not be surprised to hear from me once or twice this week.
That's what I'm there for, man. Whatever you need, man.
I appreciate you.
Biggums, thanks for coming by, man. Really appreciate you spending your time volunteering it like that. I can't thank you enough. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. We can echo up too, man, and find out another time to get together too and make it
for sure.
Video if you want to.
For sure. Hey, hopefully we'll be done with this in the next 14 to 21 days, and you know, we can all just chill the next couple of weeks and meet up somewhere and hang out instead of doing it on Zoom calls, right?
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
All right. Sounds good. Guys, thank you so much. Everybody in the chat, my mods. Who we do have tonight? Liz and Adrian and Pam, Pantheon, who came by. Oh, who else do we have in the chat? Damn it, I can't think. Randall Cornett, Jackson Hunter, everybody who came by in the chat. Appreciate you. Pantheon, if I forgot anyone, my bad.
Love you,
guys.
Sorry.
We have 8 minutes left in today, Monday. I forgot to say, I hate saying Happy Memorial Day, but
yeah,
for lack of a better way to say it, thank you to all the veterans who lost their lives defending us and giving us the freedoms that we have today. And our prayers go out to your families as well.
for sure. 100%. I second that 100%. Yeah, much love, Ape family. Guys, get some sleep tonight. Try to relax. And we'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm sure we'll be around tomorrow afternoon. Tony's going to lab in the morning. I'm sure Biggums will be on at some point. Thank you guys so much. Everyone stop by. Have a great night. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Peace out.